Sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out, hear me out. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want you to know. Secrets start in your heart to slow. But if you don't wanna tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Losing almost all my energy. It's getting hard to talk to you, and I'm the only one who speaks. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart to slow. But if you don't wanna tell me now, I guess I'll never know.
Okay, hey guys, welcome to another live of Sebastian Rogers. I want to go over some things with you, of course, after listening to just the different things, just to get people up to speed. Sweetie Pilo, some of the things that she has said, as well as there was some confusion, of course, about this whole Cajun and the dog thing and stuff like that. So going to try to clarify, or actually, no, not going to lie, I'm still confused on that because people are, GLR, I believe, was saying that Cajun Army, he didn't see them. Uh, Jennifer Coughlin Daffer is saying, the Cajun Army is out on another search today for uh, Sebastian Rogers. And, hello, everyone. Hi, Justice Angel. Hi, Allison in Wonderland. Hello, hello. Not going to lie, if I seem a little somber, I'm a little bit tired. I think I did there's one that was 5 hours, 55 minutes, and 54 seconds. And then there was 3 hours and whatever that one was yesterday. We did the late night one, went over some stuff about Nancy, with Nancy Grace, and stuff that was said by Seth, and, the different panel that was on there as well. So anyways, for me, again, the involvement or non-involvement of Christopher Proudfoot, Katie Proudfoot, and Seth Rogers, right? To me, these are two families, I'll say one unit, but not really one unit in a sense, that are just trying to find what happened to Sebastian Rogers. For me personally, I just like looking at all the different facts that are out there and then providing them, say, to myself and then to you guys as well, and trying to put the most, factual facts out there that we know about. And then anyone can draw whatever conclusion they want from those facts, right? Which is fair enough, because everyone has their own thought process, or how they take things. Some people dive into, every single word that's said, which, obviously when somebody's speaking and they use the word we all do flubber and say things, but then sometimes it's like more of a question mark, because sometimes, like in the Madeline Soto case, you could understand that perhaps, Jennifer Soto not having, say, proper English, we'll call it, that, still you can tell her English is kind of broken, uses the word we, but then of course the next day you find out that, she saw her daughter at 8:00, but we know that her backpack and the laptop were in the garbage bin at 7:35. So how are you seeing your daughter? Because your daughter's pretty much probably dead by that point, obviously, so still waiting to see what happens. They did an update on that case, which was like a nothing burger, because they didn't provide us anything more than we already knew. So who knows what the point of that was. Everyone was thinking charges would be laid against Stephen Stearns, or perhaps maybe Jennifer Soto, like it's still open towards her, because obviously they're still investigating. But why hold a press conference to tell us nothing to update you on type of thing. Hi, Doodlebug. How are you? You're going to lurk. I'm going to lurk while I work. You're a poet and you know it. Gonna lurk while you work. Okay. So I'm just gonna play this clip that I saw the other day. It's just a minute and 46 seconds long, and it's basically just a call out for people, to, spread awareness about the case, and for people to help searching. Obviously, a JLR was out there today, along with some other content creators, covering the second day of search. I watched about the first hour of it and then I fell back to sleep, not gonna lie. And then I woke up and watched a little bit more. And, no event much happened besides, Seth was in a sling because I guess he hurt his arm. I don't know that it was today. I think it's like was really sore. I think he hurt it already, if I'm not mistaken, if I heard that right. Um, yeah, like I said, I don't mind like talking about the different things about, things that we know and what we don't have, you know. But as for the placing blame on anyone, um, I'm not going to do that. Like Christopher Proudfoot, again, he's not doing, himself any favors, and possibly he just don't care how he's being perceived by the public, but he seems to care because he seems to be watching. I don't get caught up in Facebook drama, first of all. I pretty much stay away from that stuff, and I'll go to a group if I need to, if I feel like it's pertinent or stuff like that. But usually Facebook groups are very toxic in a lot of ways, and I just try to stay away from that. I just try to look for something that, I can show you, if anything, um, that is pertinent to the case, not the drama aspect of it, because that's just toxic. So if Christopher Proudfoot's in a Facebook group, and he's reading all these, probably a lot of horrible comments towards himself, but again, you're putting yourself in that situation. So either you can bypass it and overlook it and, stick to what's important, which is Sebastian Rogers, or you can get caught up in it and, after, start gaining an attitude. Not that I think he doesn't have an attitude regardless in a sense, or a stronger personality, we'll say that. But when you, like I said, start reading all that stuff, I get it would bug somebody. But again, the purpose is Sebastian Rogers. And that's the purpose for us, and spreading awareness and putting out the facts of that stuff. Um, well, it does. People, and I'm sorry, but there's people that come up with the most ridiculous shit ever. And you're like seriously, how are you even born? How did you decide to walk, and chew bubblegum at the same time? Sometimes it's just amazing how adults can just literally, it's like they're on a different planet, solar system, and you're like, come on, come back to Earth. Let's stick to what we know and not try to add, freaking aliens or freaking all this crap into it. Or they take the narrative and they can totally do like a freaking 360 with it. And you're like, how do you think that a cover up is happening? All these people were involved, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's just beyond ridiculous. Um, Anyways, I've been looking for more than just normal to see there's a nugget of new truth out there. Well, that's just the thing, for me, I'm trying to, for me, always build this timeline. Okay, so what happened here and what happened there? But anyways, let me just quickly play this first for you guys. And again, welcome. Please consider hitting that like and the share. If you're on Twitter, please consider retweeting it. Again, appreciation to anyone that's sharing, making aware of Sebastian's case, whether you're a creator, whether you're a person that's, in the chat and whatever, and you're sharing, stuff with Sebastian Rogers or any other missing persons out there. That's what's important, and that's what matters, and that's where we can make a difference. So let's just go to this one right here quickly. Okay, guys?
Riley strain ends, another family in Sumner County is still left without answers.
15-year-old Sebastian Rogers has been missing for almost 5 weeks. News 2's Caitlin Quisenberry spoke with community members about the call for more resources and outside support. Caitlin.
The Sumner County community is still asking where Sebastian Roger is as the search for missing college student Riley Strain ends, but residents in the area tell me they have not
Thank you,
forgotten
Jackie.
him. Prayer vigils are held for the teen almost every week. Drivers in the area drive by posters along the streets and flyers greet them at every door or window. Even organized search parties by concerned community members and Sebastian's biological dad remain constant, but many residents in the area say it's time to ramp up the search efforts again. And Sumner County Commissioner Don Schmidt says Sebastian's story needs to be told in every city and state. A TikToker with 92,000 followers took to social media calling for the help of the United Cajun Navy, currently in Nashville. She tells me she watched them search for Strain and believes they could help find Sebastian Rogers.
I was like, hey, don't leave. Over here, you know what I mean? Like the flag. And
I think we need to really expand the news coverage. The local news are doing a great job, but I think we get this nationwide that other people in other states are seeing this, because honestly, people's worst fears are really starting to ramp up now.
In a statement from Sebastian's mother, Katie Proudfoot, she said, quote, "We pray that everyone continues to help search and pray that we find him and bring him home safe. The pain of our son's absence is beyond words." If you know anything, call the Sumner County Sheriff's Office at the number on your screen or TBI at 1-800-TBI-FIND.
That's it for that one. Just wanted to share that one with you. Just a little clip, however. And one sec here, pop-up came up here. And so Jackie Young, thank you for putting that there. So the other day, Christopher and Katie, the other day, they were like, yeah, we would love to go on the, Nancy Grace show. And I thought to myself, maybe I'll message her and say, hey, get them on. I opted not to because, they could easily go on Nancy Grace themselves, right? Like this wasn't a 2+2 on this one, right? Or I should say it was a 2+2. They're hitting up some of the smaller channels. And so it's kind of like, I'm sure there's a lot of people that probably message that Nancy and be like, Nancy, hey, they want to come on the show too. I would love for, if you guys hear that high-pitched voice, it's my husband and brother-in-law. They're sitting there gaming, but their voices get really high-pitched. Their little British accents over there. But anyways, so I'm glad to hear that. I would like to see Seth and them together so that, but obviously she had Seth on. And so, Seth only knows so much, right? Like there's only so much he knows. This obviously happened at Katie's and Christopher's home. Katie was the one there that day. So it would have been nice to have them at the same time, in a sense. That way, what one didn't know, the other could answer, in a sense, right? And so anyways, I'll be looking forward to that. Nancy will ask Christopher the hard questions. She will get a timeline, out of them. So I'll be looking forward to that myself. Nancy Grace is, like I said, just gets right to the point, and she's probably one of the strongest, if not the strongest, females in the media area that just is like, look, okay, yeah, you're saying this, but I like that about her. Now, I'll just quickly show you this, I suppose. Video file. So I'll just show you this. I tried calling them today, not too long ago. So I was just going to show you. Instantly goes to no answer. I'm really hoping he would answer. Just right there. I agree. Love Nancy Grace. Yeah. I think I'm just misclicking at this point here. I'm like, shit. That's what we were talking about yesterday. I have tried to reach out to Christopher 3 times. and Katie twice. Katie didn't really use her Facebook though that much, only recently. So hers instantly does the same thing. So for anyone that doesn't know, like normally I would use Intellius, but I got tired of paying like basically $40 a month, US, sometimes when I don't really need to use it. And you can use Search People free. Like Intellius will tell you way more about somebody, whereas Search People free, you'll basically just get all their addresses, their friends and whatever family, but always the paid for ones, you'll get a lot more information. But I'm just typing it in, and I'm looking what says it's the current number that's there. So I'm like, well, okay, fine. I'll use my non-US data. I don't have calling. I got texting to the US, but I have really had no need for calling the US, but I've had to call there a couple times lately. Katie's mom and dad are supporting them. Yeah, I'm sure that they absolutely are. Jack, a mother, no matter what. Look at Christopher Watts, right? You just got to look to that to see how typically parents act or whatever. I think there's a little bit of a lag. Oh, I remember. I was trying to type in the phone number, but I forgot that I had to enter my code for my phone. Anyways, so I tried to keep my promise to what I said yesterday, that I would try to contact someone wants to send you a message. Who wants to send me a message? Hold on. I'm not sure who that is. Is it not playing it? Okay.
The number you dialed is not in service. Please check the number and dial again. OV12.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, that was just to show you, like I was like said, want to keep my promise. Tried to call that number that it said it was the current one. Obviously not in service. Their messengers just go instantly to not answer. So obviously that. So anyways, like I said, he obviously had said that he would answer anybody's messages, but that's not the case. Michelle Proudfoot. I'm not actually slandering your brother's name, Michelle. Maybe you should get your facts straight. So let me see what you are saying. It's a real shame what you're doing, slandering my brother's name and how trying to dox and release his information. Are you serious? Well, it's nice of you to come out of the woodwork, Michelle Proudfoot. Actually, if you actually watch this channel, you know that I'm not slandering your brother's name, so you should get your facts straight. So I appreciate your comment, although untrue it is. Anyways, with that being said, so do you have anything important to say, Michelle, that can add to anything besides coming off and beacon off on there? Is there anything of value that you wanted to add to this conversation, Michelle Proudfoot? All right, then. Do you want to say how great your brother is? Like I said, if you watch this channel, I've never been accusing him of anything to do with the disappearance of Sebastian Proudfoot. So constantly. Thank you. Like I said, it's just when people they sit there and they come in there and say, and they're spewing off at the mouth. And yet, obviously, if they watch this channel, they would know that that's not true. So I get it, right? It's her brother. So it's like any family member that they're going to stick up for their brother and stuff like that. Christopher Proudfoot has done no favors to the public. We know that. So why are you trying to dox him and Katie on there? Oh, you mean to put the phone number out there that's public? So the public information that's all out there that is easy accessible, all you have to do is just type it in and get anything you want. Because in the US, okay, in Canada here, you can't do that stuff, right? You can pull up a phone number. It's easy. So it's not like it's not public information. It's not like he hasn't reached out or people haven't reached out to him. So like I said, maybe you should know a little bit about what you're talking about. I mean, you can come up here and you can vent if you want to, Michelle. I have no problem. This is about Sebastian Rogers. It's not about Christopher Proudfoot in that sense. It's about Sebastian, but obviously Christopher Proudfoot and Katie, have been doing interviews, talking on YouTube channels. So like I said, I'm one of the probably few YouTube channels that actually has put no blame, besides of how he's interacting with the public. So perhaps you should be thanking me instead of sitting there trying to show shade on the channel. But I get it. Michelle. It's your brother, right? A family member is going to stick up for their family. Yeah. You are calling him over and... Oh, no. Well, get your facts straight, Missy. Okay? So sounds like you have a big mouth just like he does. That's what it sounds like to me. I think you got your whole family seems to have a running of the mouth. You're calling him over and over again, and now you're trying to call his number. Just a shame you're doing this while we're dealing with this. Exactly. Get your facts straight. And if you want to come up on the live, then get your ass on up here. Open your mouth instead of sitting there behind freaking texting, sit there messaging. Okay, Michelle? How about them apples? You seem to have a big mouth like your brother, so come on up. Like I said, calling him over and over again, that's the first time I tried calling him. Twice. Just because I wasn't sure. I wanted to try again. It's the third time I messaged him, considering your brother had said that anyone can message him at any time and he'll answer back. Get your facts straight. Appreciate the people that are trying to actually provide facts and not place blame on your brother or Katie or Seth. Have any of you looked for Sebastian? Well, I mean, if I could come over from Canada all the way over there, I would be doing that in a second. What's your point, Courtney? Have you helped look for him, Courtney? Before I go off on your ass as well? Courtney, come on, speak up. Let's go. Want to set me off? Set me off. Like I said, I don't sit there and take anybody's crap. We do good things to help people. Sounds like another person that needs to get their facts straight as well. Hotown is looking for him, but seems... Oh, I get it. Okay, Courtney, I get it. Michelle, whole town is looking for him, but seems none of your family has done anything. But they were eating dinner. They were having a barbecue last night. Where were they at the search? Hey, Michelle, where were they? Where are they today when the search was happening? Like I said, bring your ass up on this live if you want to flap those lips. Yeah, no, sorry. I misread that. Apologies, Courtney, over there. I was like, really, people? The woodwork coming out today? She's trying to bait people because apparently CP is threatening to file. Or he can threaten all he wants. Like I said, this is about Sebastian. And it doesn't matter. It's about Sebastian. Anyways, let's get back into what we're truly here for. And that is about Sebastian, but this is about, say, the timeline. So I'm going to play a clip from Sweetie Pie Low. And I know Sweetie Pie Low from, like briefly during the Suzanne Morphew thing, okay? Thank you very much, Courtney. And I apologize because I was like, ah, shit, come on, people. Because if someone wants to hit my bad side, I can go there. And when someone comes in, like all of a sudden we're doing a live, and all of a sudden, Michelle is sneaking into the live, doesn't say anything. And then all of a sudden, it's like I pull up to show, to show that I'm calling him. Really? All of a sudden, then she's open up her mouth, right? Accusing people isn't helping anything. Instead, talking crap. Maybe go help search. Why don't you go search? Are you searching, Michelle? Hey, how about Christopher? Is he searching too? No, exactly. You're shameful because you're sitting there behind a computer being a keyboard warrior. What exactly are you pissed about? The fact that people are covering the case? Learn my channel before you come in here and throw accusations. So if anyone's done with anybody, I'm done with you, but I'm not done with Sebastian Rogers. How about them apples? Okay. So talk to the hand. Don't care what you have to say. But if you do, like I said, you can come up here, you can vent all you want, and I'll be more than happy to listen to you. But if you're going to sit there and beak in the chat and your wuss ass can't come up to the channel and talk, then I'm done talking with you. Go find yourself another live to go troll. Okay. Have a good one. Find Sebastian Rogers. Yeah, Sweetie Pilo. Okay, so let's get back to these dogs. So when I was watching JLR's live stream yesterday, as they were doing, Michelle, listen carefully, as I was watching Seth Rogers and a whole bunch of people doing a search for Sebastian Rogers. Do you know who that is, Michelle? Are you out there searching for Sebastian Rogers, Michelle? Asking for a friend, or I'm possibly just asking you straight up. So can you answer that, Flappergums there? So anyways, as I was watching JLR, one dog hit on a spot, okay? We saw that as we were watching lives. Then Chronicles of Olivia, due to someone at the search that had said that there was 6 dogs that had hit on the spot. So I had seen that after the fact of JLR's live. Then Chronicles of Olivia had talked about the 6 dogs because this is what a gentleman from the search thing had said. Now, we're going to listen to this lady on Sweetie Pie Lowe's on there. But I find it odd that Chris driving his truck and pulling the camper and Katie falling behind it, leaving their home this morning while people are out searching for them. I don't find it odd. It seems like it's pretty normal. Seth Rogers is out there, freaking pounding the pavement. I don't know what Katie and Christopher Proudfoot are doing, but they're not making themselves look good to the public. That's all I know. Okay, we're not accusing Christopher or Katie, at least I'm not, this channel's not, of any wrongdoing to Sebastian Rogers. Like I said, what conspiracies, Michelle? What conspiracies? Is this the first time in this channel? You keep saying have a good day. Are you going to mean it this time? Okay, because this channel doesn't work off conspiracies. Thank you so much. Like I said, maybe go back and watch the lives, okay? There's a lot of other channels putting blame and saying stuff. This channel is not about that. You going to tell me to have a good day again, Michelle? I'm having a pretty good day, actually, because I'm covering Sebastian Rogers. Okay, so the Proudfoots are doing nothing. So maybe if Michelle does want to talk, maybe she can explain in chat, since she doesn't want to come up here. Maybe she can explain in chat, though, like, in all honesty, Michelle, what efforts, in a sense, because all we're seeing is that the Proudfoots and Katie are not contributing to the search efforts. Doesn't mean that they're not handing out flyers, doesn't mean that they're not upset, but visually to the public is getting pissed off, right? Because what they're seeing is people that seem to be talking and sitting at home and maybe handing out some flyers, and that's pretty much it. That's the way it's being portrayed. Your brother, Michelle, he went on the Smiley's World with a bunch of attitude. If you want people to help the case for Sebastian Rogers, you don't go on there with these demands of monetization and coming off with this ignorant arrogance. It doesn't matter what people are saying. If people are bringing coverage to the case, that's what matters. They knew who they are as people, right? If they have strong personalities like your brother seems to have, then that shit should bounce right off of them. You know? Yes, of course they're underneath public scrutiny. They have portrayed the oddest interviews since Sebastian went missing.
Super chat, $4.99. Thank you. Sonny, are you going to respond to the allegations about you in today's Red Bar report? Some sick stuff in his chat box. Hope it isn't true. Found me face.
I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't know what a Red Bar report is. Are you sure you got the right person? Because there's a Sonny in JLR's chat, I noticed. Sonny, you want to respond to the allegations about you? Again, you sound like a troll. Maybe, perhaps. I don't know. Thanks for the $4.99. You can feel free to refund it if you want. I have no idea what you're talking about whatsoever. I don't know. That sounds like a bunch of made up stuff to me. Like, what is the Red Bar report? What is the Red Bar report, you guys? Yeah, what's a Red Bar? Is it like a chocolate bar, but it's called a Red Bar? Anyways, whatever to that. Don't have no time to play any games. To me, thanks for all you do. Yeah, what is a Red Bar report? Like I said, you know what? Feel free to ask for your $4.99 back, dude, whatever you're talking about. So stop with the BS. Well, that's exactly it. Stop with the BS, you know. Again, the trolls come out. Who cares? You know what? Like I said, go refund your $4.99. I don't need it. I don't want it. So anyways, let's get back to the point here. So on Sweetie Pie Lowe's, there's this lady talking that was at the search. And I think this might clear up some of the confusion because it was said that 5 dogs were on their way. So that's probably where the 5 + 1, 6 dog cadaver dogs came from. But anyways, let's listen to this for a second, okay, on Sweetie Pie Lowe's. So shout out to Sweetie Pie Lowe and anyone else that's covering the Sebastian Rogers case out there and trying to bring awareness. So let's do that.
All right.
Just keep donating and then refund it. Let me just block you. You're so stupid, Daniel.
I might need to refresh this. Hang on.
God, block. Keep your stupid money.
I'm torn up, guys. I'm torn up. I was just out here trying to help.
Oh, she's so low.
Sebastian Rogers. Out here in Hendersonville.
Can you guys hear it?
We got a little team. There's 17 of us. We're looking. I stop at this tree area. I'm like, what is this? I see a little piece of gauze with tape. It looks like Band-Aid, something. There's blood on it. Something doesn't feel right about it. So we stop. Someone comes and looks at it. Somebody found right by it, a big hole. Like it felt like fresh soil is what they said. So it looked like a big hole had just been dug up. So we stop and they get the canine dog. The dog comes. When he gets to that
Take care,
area,
Michelle.
he lays down, he's barking.
Oh, okay. 1 second. Let me pause that. Michelle, 1 second.
I'm gonna have to go Google
I'll play
it,
this again in a second. Michelle, just in case you are still listening, the reason I was trying to contact your brother is because he had said he's been going on lives. And so I had messaged him for 3 times in the last month. He said, basically, all you have to do is message him and he'll answer. Okay. So I thought, okay, well, maybe I'll reach out to him on Messenger yesterday or today, actually, but I said it yesterday. The reason why, it's not to place blame, Michelle, on your brother. I'm, in fact, the total opposite of that, okay? Obviously, we can talk about what's been shown in the interviews and stuff like that. But actually, the whole point I wanted to talk to Christopher and Katie is just simply to ask. There's a few questions out there that haven't been asked about the timeline. And that's all I wanted to know was some questions that people have not asked of Christopher and Katie. So, for instance, right? When Katie is talking to, here, let me come back on camera for a second. When Katie is talking to Chris Proudfoot, okay, it makes it seem like she's in the living room. Now, again, it was trying to figure out, okay, so if, we've looked at the interior of the house. So Sebastian's room is in the front, in the flower bed there. That's his room. And Sweetie Pie Low talks about that as well. But because of what Chris Proudfoot has said, right? Obviously, the flower garden is right there. So I was just, for some of the questions that weren't answered, trust me, I have empathy. No, it's not I'm searching for them on websites. Do you understand? I went to Messenger. I've messaged 3 times. Christopher Proudfoot on the Smiley's World said, just message me in Messenger. I'll get back with you. So I did it again for the 3rd time. And it was because he was going on lives. It wasn't about placing blame. It's been, honestly, Michelle, again, if you know this channel, it was simply about the timeline. It wasn't about throwing Chris or Katie underneath the bus. Obviously Christopher isn't coming off trust me, he's not doing himself favors whenever he does open his mouth to the public, but yet they want the public's help. But you can understand. Thank you, Anna. I just see someone bought me a taco. Thank you, Anna. So I'm not that person, Michelle. I'm a very fair person. And this, at the end of the day, again, it was just about trying to understand this timeline so that people could understand perhaps more that, okay, if Sebastian's light turned off at 9:08 and Katie's turned off at 11:45 and she thinks it's from 12 to 6, all you're trying to do is just simply build the timeline. But there's definitely still some questions out there that make a difference to a timeline, right? The more facts people have to look at that timeline, really, the more that they could think, okay, did this happen to Sebastian? Did this happen to Sebastian? Obviously he didn't get beamed up by a spaceship, but there's no video, there's no this that we have, the public has. But the public is there ready to help in any which way they can, whether I live in Canada. I cover US cases, very little Canadian cases. I cover US cases. Why, Michelle? Because I care about people. Again, I'm not sitting here playing the place blame game that Christopher or Katie had anything to do. In fact, I've over and over said, the fact that I feel like they're being genuine from both sides of it. It was just a matter of a timeline. There's questions that people haven't asked that I just simply wanted to know because he's going on all these other small YouTube channels as well. That was the point. But you'd have to know this channel. I get it that people are out there attacking Christopher and stuff like that, or blaming him that he has something to do with the disappearance. And people are allowed to have their thoughts, whatever they want to. I can't control that, but I can control what I say or what I put out there for information. But this is about Sebastian. And it was just about trying to find the timeline, which we are going to kind of cover today so that we can have the timeline. It's not about conspiracy theories for me, right? Like I said, it's trying to stick to the facts at hand and then basing what could possibly happen. That's it. Like I said, but at the end of the day, Michelle, Seth Rogers has grabbed the attention of the national people, right? Because, and same with Katie, she did as well. But when you have Christopher beside her, that comes across as very dominating and very aggressive. You're talking about the public, and the public will instantly be, they'll instantly be, sitting there giving him a stink eye for the way he's talking and projecting himself. So they're going to be very leery because they're like, okay, so the dad is choking up and he's talking Seth. The mother is choking up, they're saying words of we when they shouldn't be, but Christopher is coming off, especially in his last interview, as very aggressive. And the thing is that we're trying to help, so regardless if people say bad shit or whatever, that happens all the time. Doesn't matter what case you go to, it becomes about Sebastian. So when you start taking the anger to the public, because maybe you're pissed off because in Facebook groups they're toxic and you're watching this stuff, and then you come to the public, well, they're going to backlash back at you. because you're wanting our help, but yet you're projecting this image. So anyways, that's my piece on that. Let me go back to playing this. So this lady was at the search party. At first I thought I was like, is that Jay for Justice? Because it kind of looks similar. Anyways, that's all I have to say about that. It was just a matter of wanting to clear up some questions in regards to the timeline, because I am a critical thinker. I do think outside the box. And there was just some questions that haven't been asked yet that we could add to that timeline to give it a consistency, and then go, okay, now we have this information to the public. You guys don't owe us anything, but again, people need to be able to make sense of something. And if it doesn't make sense, yeah, you bet your bottom dollar they're going to look to place blame everywhere and stuff like that. It's a given. Some people might do it for clicks and views because they know that conspiracy adds to clicks and views, and then there's the channels out there that, like myself, that I have no desire to grow based on, trying to get clicks and views for this reason. It's a genuine care, Michelle. So I know who I am. I wasn't trying to dox it, whatever. I was just trying to, like I said, get in touch with him like anyone else, because he said that people could message him, So I thought, okay. Anyways, let's go back to this. So I'm going to close this one off. Got to get back to the one I was at. This one. Okay. So she's going to be talking about the dog. So let me just, like I said, play this one again for you guys. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Oh, you guys, I'm not even showing it. My goodness. I'm playing it, but I'm not showing it.
I see a little piece of gauze.
I thought I hit share. Sorry, guys. My bad. I was too busy looking at your guys' in chat.
I'm torn up. I was just out here trying to help look for Sebastian Rogers out here in Hendersonville. We got a little team. There's 17 of us. We're looking. I stop at this tree area. I'm like, what is this? I see a little piece of gauze with tape. It looks like Band-Aid, something. There's blood on it. Something doesn't feel right about it. So we stop. Someone comes and looks at it. Somebody found right by it, a big hole. Like it felt like fresh soil is what they said. So it looked like a big hole had just been dug up. So we stop, and they get the canine dog. The dog comes. When he gets to that area, he lays down, he's barking, and he starts digging. I don't know what those commands mean. I'm gonna have to go Google it, but after that, she makes a call, and next thing we know, we're kicked out. They're like, oh, the park is closed. This is trespassing. I stay back. I wait for the park ranger to get there. I talk to him. I'm like, hey, this is what's going on. I found this piece of thing. They're kicking people out. What do we need to do? Do I need to work it? Like what happens? So I go and I talk to Dad. He's like, drive back with me. We'll go figure it out. I go and I go talk to Dad. Dad didn't need any more help right now, but it sounds like they're staying there to search. More canines were coming. I'm praying that this family finds answers, or Sebastian out here safe somewhere. And I don't know, that was something. I'm so shook.
Stop it there for a second, and then we'll go on to another part of that. Again, thank you guys for your support. I'm kind of one of those ones. If I feel like I'm being yelled at and I don't feel like I deserve it, then I'm kind of person that, like I said, I treat people how they treat me. So if somebody's attacking me, especially knowing, like I said, what we do here on this channel, then I'll come bite your butt. But you know what? I always get over it very fastly, because at the end of the day, there's frustration going on, of course, within the families, there's separation going on. So I want to say this, and if some of you guys remember this. So apparently there was this pact between Katie, Christopher, and Seth that, before they did anything, that they were going to talk about it, so if they were about interviews, searching and stuff like that. So that was the pact that they kind of had. And then you can kind of tell that it's almost that the way it sounded was that, well, then Seth was, going on YouTube channels or whatever, or you know what I mean? Like, it just seemed like whatever it was, that pact seemed to kind of fall apart. And then they each started doing their own thing. Thank you. Well, thank you. I appreciate the support back, for that, because again, for people that watch the channel, they know that where I stand with this. Okay. And how other people want to perceive this case is totally up to them. I'm not here to try to tell someone how to think. I'm just out here trying to support in the search for Sebastian Rogers. And if I could be there and search, I would be doing it. I absolutely am that person. I'm in Canada, right? I promote going to help search. JLR is promoting to help search, and he's there, and again, have the Proudfoots, like I said yesterday, someone obviously took a picture of them eating. Are they allowed to eat? Yes. But there's a search going on. So why are the Proudfoots and Katie and Christopher helping with the search as well? Like, there's obviously this diversity, right? And we know how Robin Rogers feels about Christopher. So anyways, there's a diversity there. But at the end of the day, it's about, one mission. Where is Sebastian Rogers? What happened to Sebastian Rogers? Now, in this video, this was to talk about those canines, okay? So that's where things probably got confused yesterday. On the stream, JLR, there was one dog we saw. Then it was said that there was 5 dogs on their way, okay? So to me, that would have happened after the fact. Now, in here, this is where she's saying, I'm pretty sure she keeps saying, I talked to Dad, and they're bringing more canines up. So that's, to me, where the confusion lies. I had someone on Twitter this morning going, there wasn't 6 dogs, there was 1. Now, I think altogether, there probably is 5 or 6 dogs, but only 1 was seen during the search. And we know that because JLR was live, and I was watching JLR live, but people get so petty over things. So the chances are there's probably 6 dogs, but did 6 dogs hit on that spot? Probably not. Probably was 1 dog, perhaps another was up there. Who knows? New to Alive. I can see and hear the love and compassion in your heart. Thank you so much, Dr. Debbie Booth. Absolutely. Anyone that knows me or can at least, feel my vibes through the internet, in a sense, or my aura, whatever you want to call it, they know a genuine person when they feel one. I really shouldn't have to keep explaining that, because anyone that knows and comes across sincere, genuine creators knows the difference between that and people that are in it for clicks and views and trying to add conspiracies when they're not there, to drum up, titles that make it seem like something's going on, and you click on it and you're like, wait, I saw 2 on JLR. Absolutely, Anna. No, it's kind of one of those things, like, I get over things really fast. I do. Unless someone like really backstabs me and stuff like that, I'll disown you in a heartbeat if I find out that you're just a two-faced liar to my, in my real life or on here. I don't put up with that stuff. I literally will cut you off and move on. But do I obviously take it somewhat personal? Knowing that this loving, caring heart I have for people, and people attack that. Yeah, it's hard, kind of like Christopher Proudfoot, probably, right? He's reading all these Facebooks on there. He's being attacked. He knows the truth, right? He knows if he was in Memphis. The police know if he was in Memphis, but again, it's because of the projection. No matter what, someone's going to take away what they want from it, but the projection to the public, he's not doing himself any favors. And we all know that. He doesn't maybe seem to know that. But if he came across a lot softer, in the whole thing and not the oddities of those interviews, it would have been a different perception to the public, and they would have had, just like Seth Rogers, that same compassion that's going out to Seth for Katie and Christopher, but so for Katie it was there, but Christopher, it's kind of like you put the two together, so obviously everyone's behind Seth more so, and a lot of people are accusing Christopher and stuff like that. I just see him being a very harsh personality in a sense, and he is, but when you want the public's help, you have to tone it down, or you're going to get the backlash of the internet, because we are millions and millions of people, and when you have millions of people, right, word travels very fast, just like we can put Sebastian Rogers stuff out there very fast. Also, the backlash can happen very fast as well. What are you saying there? Sweetie Pie Low added plenty of conspiracies to the Idaho 4 case. I don't actually watch Sweetie Pie Low. I know of her. I know her from Suzanne Morphew. I don't really watch a lot of channels and creators myself, because I'm too busy working on my own work, right? Or coming across stuff like JLR. I'm trying to show you guys the certain things, but not trying to add conspiracies to things that someone can do on their own, right? Again, anyone that's following this channel knows we're not into the conspiracies. I mean, not to say there's not no wackadoodle cases out there, but just to provide the facts, right? You try to keep the essence of the case just to the facts, and then your own thoughts can take over about, okay, like this Sebastian's case is odd. It's strange, because that footage isn't there. But the more we know, hence the reason I was wanting to ask Christopher and Katie a few questions that weren't asked, was just to build upon that timeline, so that you guys and myself, we just simply had a clear picture of point A to point Z, and then move on from there. But the way it is that during the interviews that Katie and Chris did, they went from basically Z, not even Z, let's say a U, to freaking like an H to an A, then back up to the Z. And there was so many inconsistencies in their stories, because they were adding, or they weren't saying, or they were taking away, and then us again adding more. And it was kind of like, well, come on, why aren't you going out to the big, like a Nancy Grace, Smiley Worlds was saying, like, who cares what GLR is saying? But he was so convinced on that he wanted an apology, for it. And I get it. I mean, I get the fact. It's kind of like when somebody's like accusing somebody and they know that they've done no wrong. But at the end of the day, that becomes really minorly insignificant, to the point of that your family is in the middle of something that the news is covering. This Sebastian's case is growing and growing and growing. And with that comes a lot of speculation. But again, the bottom line is, yes, it can be very hurtful and detrimental to people, obviously, as they're suffering in pain and, going through the emotions of wanting the child back. We see it on Seth Rogers' face when he was talking on Nancy Grace. He's exhausted. His eyes are puffy. He's just beyond belief in despair and heartache. And yet he has to keep going out every day, to keep looking for his son, because that's his son, So it is heartbreaking watching them. It's heartbreaking, watching Katie too, as a mother, as a human being. I would love to think that I don't have an ice cold heart, because I don't, and feel that compassion of when somebody is feeling genuine in what they're saying. But when you have that mixture of one that's controlling and slinging kind of that brass personality, and then Katie is letting Christopher talk for her, which is fine. But again, to the public, it's not being perceived very well. But it's about Sebastian. So let's go back into some of the timeline. Riley Strain's mother was heartbreaking. Absolutely. Absolutely. This is a child. That, for in this case, right? Riley's case was an easier case to solve. That one was an easier case, definitely. There was more information about it. Sebastian Rogers' case, from what we know, okay? Not from what the Alinas, but from what we know, it is like perplexing because people are trying to claim the flashlight video still, even though TBI had said that there's no evidentiary value. And Christopher Proudfoot had said that they saw the video, that they're not flashlights. So it's like, it's not like TBI is going to make up that crap and just tell you, like, you know what, it's really true, but we're just going to hide that from you, right? You have to use the common sense factor. It doesn't look like flashlights. Is News 5 showing it? They're not showing it from behind the house. So that's where, again, misinformation to me is coming from as well, because you have people saying that the lights are from behind the house, and then you have the News 5, which is, Nick Perez, which is showing it from the angle. Like, even when they show it from the angle, if you guys don't notice that, they're showing it from the angle of that house that's on the corner of Stratford Street. And the angle is right there as they're showing it of the common ground. So if people didn't catch that, which I did, and hence why Doodlebug, had told me about that home with the camera on it. And then when you look at Nick Perez's, he's giving you that same angle. He's not telling you what house it is, but we know it's on the corner of Stratford looking into the common ground. So does one think, well, Katie said flashlight, and then there's flashlights, but there's no dog sense that picked him up, or anything like that? Of course, it's mind-boggling, is it not? Again, if there's footage of Katie leaving the house, which apparently she did, as Sweetie Pie was. Let's get into that. Can you pull up the map and show us where the lights are in the video, please? Let me do that. Speak lifeguard in just a moment, okay? Where is your son, Katie? Oh, where is your son, Katie? Had to think there for a second. Phone lights. Well, Christopher Proudfoot, he never said what those lights were. Maybe he didn't even know. But regardless, let's listen to this part about when Sweetie Pie Low is giving some timeline from a person that she had talked to, perhaps the neighbor that had the camera. But yeah, I'll come back to that and go over that. Okay, so let's make this bigger and let me hit play. Okay.
And it just seemed like, wow, that's kind of a likely place that somebody would put, a person they're trying to hide. Not to mention, issued to the Cajun Navy to stand down for 7 days. Not sure if you guys have been hearing this or not. I don't for sure know if it's valid or not. Part of me thinks it's not 100% legit because I know that they're going out to search today. But is it that the Cajun Navy is not and volunteers are? Not sure. Maybe you guys know more about that at this point. But it's really bizarre, and I know people are getting really upset about the nitpicking of Katie and Chris Proudfoot at this time. But guys, it's really hard to not see this from the perspective of being a parent. If you're a parent, you know how you're supposed to act. When I think about my daughters or my son missing and how I might react to that, like I actually can hardly even imagine it because it's just the scariest thing on earth. So to see individuals that don't seem as freaked out as maybe we would be, that's what seems so wrong with this picture, right? It's not that we're trying to be hard. It's like, are they acting right? Is this normal to act like that? I don't think it is. I think if you have a missing kid, you're going to stop at nothing. Like blood, sweat, and tears, you're going to be looking everywhere you can look. That just wouldn't stop. I don't even know if darkness would make me stop. I would just want my baby back. And all I would think about, I think, is what's being done to them right this minute. It would be the most traumatizing worry on this earth.
Okay, let me try
if I picture what it would be like to have a missing child. Over in our interviews is exactly what happened according to the data. though she hasn't talked about a couple things, they're not that significant anyway. And the person was actually surprised that she had never even brought these particular things up. One of them was like driving around the neighborhood. Maybe by now she has talked about that. What was the other one? There was one other. Oh, and running outside to in the morning when she discovered that Sebastian was not in his room, that she runs outside and she's getting the neighbor's attention and freaking out, saying, I don't know where my son is. I don't know where Sebastian is. So those are the two things she actually didn't talk about till maybe just recently, actually. So yeah, person told me everything she said has totally been legit. But as you know, and as I've said previously, if a person wanted to do something in a nefarious way, right, take somebody out of an equation with careful planning, with careful orchestrating, they could do just about anything as long as you can make the setting itself where the person goes missing, keep it as status quo as possible, right? In this case, a garage light was left on all night. That's what I was told. The garage light was left on all night. The boys, Sebastian's light went off at 9:08. Her bedroom light went off at 11:45. Living room light went off at around that same time. Sorry, guys, my voice is not good. I was told that every single window had screens on it, because that was my first thought, was like, well, could he have gone through a window? She said, no, that's what I was thinking too. There were screens on the bottom and top windows. Let's see, there was one door. She mentioned one door that was left open that you could see on the surveillance. I wish I would have probed her more about that. That's a regret of mine. But needless to say, everything seemed, from this person's perspective, she was in great defense of mom, because she's like, she didn't do anything. I don't think she did anything. I've looked for it. I've gone to the surveillance when I hear my neighbors talking about this and that. She's like, I've looked for it. I can't find it. I don't see it. I don't see anything she did. And another thing she said was that from the very beginning of February, that Chris Proudfoot was not home at all, that he didn't come home until the afternoon of the 26th, which was the day that Sebastian vanished. Yeah, technically, yeah, the day that he vanished. It's really something, guys. So I just wanted to go over some of those details real quick. Let's get back into the crazy, though. I don't want to skip that, because it's all just nuts. Absolutely nuts. All right. I'm sure a lot of you guys, oh my goodness, a lot of you guys have seen that Smiley Story interview.
Sorry, guys, gonna come back to screen here. Okay, so that was Sweetie Pie Low. And so, like I said, there's a few things in there. First of all, one thing she totally got wrong in that, and just to clear it up, was as the police had said, that at 6:30 a call came in regarding the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers, not 11 o'clock. So there wasn't this big time difference. Again, kind of going over the timeline, Seth Rogers receives the text around 6 to 6:20. He kind of blurps out on Nancy Grace when he says the time. So it sounds like you hear 6, but then a slight little lag there. So sometime between 6 to 6:20, right? He gets off work at 7 o'clock. He gets to his truck at 7:20. He arrives at Katie's home at 8 o'clock. Okay, so now again, Seth doesn't live there. He can only go based on some of the things that he talks about. He was talking about on Nancy Grace about the 4 things that Sebastian's phone was on lockdown. Obviously, it doesn't make sense that you can watch Minecraft or YouTube, because he said that he was attached to his phone, basically, the times that he was allowed to use it or whatever, that he was attached to his phone. But he had 4 things that he could use, which was the camera, talking, texting, and making a phone call. Okay. And so obviously that doesn't equate when someone says that they can use the inner tube. I feel like Seth was the more lenient one, whereas I feel like Christopher Proudfoot, the way he talks, like you said, he has a more controlling factor about him. So I think it's more at his dad's home that he can probably get away with more, especially when he's talking about the girl and going back and giving her the phone number. So, either way, Ellie has that phone and they'll do a data dump. Is Aspen in here? Oh yeah. Well, again, for anyone coming into this live, we don't put up with trolls at all. We don't care if you sub to us or whatever, and you want to come in here and troll. Why would we want you in this space? People that are supposed to care about other people. Callie, you called me out. I was lurking. Thank you. Thank you very much. Aspen. Anyways, so again, it just be respectful and stuff like that. Aspen, did you see when Michelle Proudfoot was in the chat on there? It's too bad, again, there's a way to come across and stuff like that. But either way, again, I'd like to ask Christopher Proudfoot and Katie just a couple more questions to clear up this timeline. So let's go back to that. So 5:12, the garbage people come. So according to this Sweetie Pie Low, this neighbor that has the footage, that that Sebastian is seen. Let's actually go. Sorry, guys. We will go to Google Earth as well. Or hold on. Should we go to Google Earth? We'll go to Google Earth for a sec first, even though Google Maps is a lot better for bringing stuff in clear. But we'll do that quickly. Okay, so remember, the house can see the front door and it can see the garage and the side door here. There's the garbage. Okay, so again, it couldn't have been too late. Sweetie Pie Low said she believes maybe perhaps 6 or 7, but obviously it wouldn't have been dark out, right? But there was something there, and this is where I'm a little confused about not seeing him come out the front door, but he's taking the garbage or whatever, putting out the garbage, and obviously wheeling it down to the end. Couldn't have been too dark. Again, there's that door right there beside the garage from the kitchen that goes right to where the garbage is, which is typically the more likely spot that anyone would go when they're going to go to the garbage. And then they're going to wheel it down to the end. Garbage gets picked up at 5:12 in the morning. The garbage men, in being questioned, say that, hey, they feel the load is a little bit heavier. So they go to the landfill and end up checking that out to see if there was anything to that. Makes sense? Obviously, because the parents, we all know, are under suspicion first and foremost, right? They're looking at everything, but the parents, they're going to get raked over the coal to have answers. Seth has an alibi. He's at work. There's no chance there. Christopher Proudfoot, he says he's in Memphis in a sense, or they say he's in Memphis from February 1st, and then he comes home at 1 p.m. So let's go back, to Sunday, right? So, again, they get up. Sebastian is laughing, they end up going, I guess, to a bowling place. Well, they end up picking up the niece. Again, this is in the Chronicles of Olivia interview, picking up the niece, whatever it was, going bowling, going over to BJ's and going out for dinner. Now, I'm not sure at what point, because I have to go back and listen again. I'm sorry, but I'm not sure at what point the niece, like where the niece gets dropped off or goes to or something like that. Like, does she go bowling? Because I think someone said that it was just Sebastian and Katie. Either way, a lot more information comes out about that. The neighbor is saying that if the neighbor is saying that on camera that she sees Katie and Sebastian at come home. But anyways, apparently Katie always parks in the garage. Okay. So after the 5:12 pickup by the garbage men, apparently, according to Sweetie Pie, from who she was talking to, the camera person, that she obviously, she had come out screaming, about, for Sebastian, like, where's Sebastian? But that she took a 10-minute drive to go look for him, and they basically insinuated that perhaps it was like over to the school because school day, so that would make sense. But we never heard that at all, and I'm confused why she would not say that. Right? There's like those are the little details that will make a conspiracy even larger when you don't give that information. And so, anyways, so apparently she went for about 10 minutes to that. Now, the night before, which is the night of Sunday, because Monday was the garbage pickup day, and when Katie gets into the vehicle for about 10 minutes, okay? Now, she's saying, the neighbor, that at 9:08, when she told Sebastian it's time for bed, that at 9:08, and he's in that front bedroom there on the right hand side of the screen, at 9:08 the lights go out for Sebastian's room, and that at 11:45 that the living room light goes out, and I guess Katie's bedroom light goes out pretty much around the same time, which coincides with when Christopher Proudfoot, who is the one that actually told us, it wasn't Katie, that Katie was not really giving details. It was actually Christopher that was giving us more details. Now, in saying that, he said that he was talking to Katie at around 9:43 or 9:46 is what his exact words were. And that it was close to midnight when he said something about like let the dogs out and basically get to bed, and then of course that leads into the 12 o'clock. So just trying to give you guys that sense of a better timeline of that if a neighbor is catching the times that, like Katie is saying, 9 o'clock, and at 9:08 his lights go out. Christopher Proudfoot is saying it was close to 12, it was close to midnight, and that's exactly when Katie's lights go out. There has to be some, like I said, some truth there for sure. So again, I can't see Christopher Proudfoot coming out to the public and claiming he was in Memphis if it wasn't true. Yes, we have people that like Seth'S that try to portray that they're crying and concerned and stuff like that. But we are well within a month of this case, right? And I would think that someone would be in custody by this point, I would think, if, there was some nefarious act going on. But it does sound to me like they're being truthful, but that the abrasiveness or abrasiveness, I should say, of Christopher Proudfoot, and the fact that we don't see any video footage of Sebastian has left everyone going, what the hell? Like, did Katie get out of her, get into her car? So again, apparently she parks in, type of thing and do something. I can't see this myself. I see genuineness, but there's still a question of missing flashlight. He didn't take his money. He left his phone. Could he, because again, Seth said about using YouTube and stuff like that, could he, have planned something himself to leave that night with somebody? We can't make sense of it because we really don't have anything to go on. So everything we're being shown is that he didn't leave the house, right? Dogs aren't tracing him. There's no footage of the vehicle that's saying that he went in this direction or that this vehicle is suspicious or anything like that. And hence why everyone is boxing it around the house, because there's nothing to tell us differently. Because it's kind of like, so then there's the flashlight thing that came out. Hey, buddy, for Chris Proudfoot is this. Did you hear or speak to Sebastian on the phone that night? Yeah, I can't remember if that was said now, to be honest with you. Right, and no shoes, right? No money, no shoes, no jacket, but takes flashlight. This does not add up. Dogs tracked him to the driveway, then nothing. And then there was a false positive, at the construction site over there, right? That's just not too far beyond them, where a bunch of new development homes had come up, plus the construction site. So either Sebastian is Houdini, and he just simply wasn't caught. And it's not like a perfect storm can't happen. Post Cajun Hi, inquiring minds. Hey, I always used to that because inquiring minds want to know. Post. Was there a post? Is that what you're saying? Who's they that went bowling? Like I said, I'm gonna have to go back over that, but feel free to go to Chronicles of Olivia and watch that interview with Christopher Proudfoot and with Katie in that one. Just sent. Oh, you just sent a post. Okay, let's see what this post is. Thank you. There is okay. All right, let's see what this post says here. We'll come back over to Google in a moment. Actually, you know what? Before I put up this post, let me just stay on it just for a second, and I will show that. But let's go down to the home where these supposed lights were. Giddy up. Giddy up. Okay. So when you're looking at Nick's footage, Nick Perez, see this camera on this house? Those are floodlights. This is a camera right here. This camera is facing here, the common ground. When Nick shows this, exit street view for a second. When Nick shows this, come on. Let's go to the timeline. Let's go. Come on. Okay. Right? Here's the home with the camera. Okay. People are trying to say it's from this home here on that side, but that's not the angle Nick Perez is showing us. The angle he's showing us is pretty much like, oops, like this angle right here, but he shows it like this. He shows the angle like this. So that makes sense, okay, that this camera is picking up footage from here. So whatever lights that are supposedly coming from here, you know, again, Christopher Proudfoot saying we saw the footage. It's not flashlights. The police, the TBI is saying, look, we received videos and thank you. And then they start going singular, talking about one video, and they don't say it's the flashlight one, but you can, you know, definitely assume that it is the one because that's the one that was taking traction on the internet. And they're saying basically, look, we received these videos, but they're of non-evidentiary value. So whatever possibly could have been moving, and I have no idea, you guys. Someone had made a mention of like where dog collars out here, like at 3 o'clock. And I think that they said that the timing of the video was wrong as well. But anyways, you know, whether somebody had their dogs out here and those were leash tags flashing that made it seem like they were moving when really it was someone letting their dogs out, you know, could possibly be. I can't, you know, because so typically we see a few things. We see when light hits certain bugs, they can give off this presence of being illuminous and stuff like that, you know, almost coming off like little orbs or whatever. And so we also know that there's floodlights out there. So again, you know, I'm just going to go with what TBI is saying and what Christopher Proudfoot's saying is that becomes, you know, I think we want to believe that it's flashlights because it looks like it could possibly be true. But I'm going to believe that TBI definitely is not lying to us. And I'm sorry, Aspen, I'm just going to try to find that post. It's this one right here. Okay. Because that's what would make sense. I want, like, even like Christopher Proudfoot said, look, you know, I would love for it to be, oh, hello. Hi. That he would love for it to be flashlights because then that would maybe show that Sebastian is, you know, like he did leave. The reason why they believe it's the front door as well is because by elimination. If he would have been seen on camera on the garage door side and the back side of the home where cameras seeing, and that there was no signs of him leaving through the window, out his front window, then that leaves the front door. They talk about how 2 of them have pad key locks on them. And anyways, so That's hence why they keep saying that he left through the front door. They haven't claimed about abduction. Anyways, let's see what this says. There's a method to our madness. Our United Cajun Navy network of volunteers is currently assisting in several high and low profile missing person cases throughout the country. When we say trust the process, I mean sometimes things need to play itself out through a process of elimination. Stay tuned and pray for Sebastian, his family, friends, and volunteers and law enforcement officials, as well as all other missing persons. Let me just see what you... it clarifies nothing but sounds cryptic. I was just going to say that's what it sounded like to me as well. I definitely think there is something nefarious that happened. I think anyone with a high-functioning autistic child would think the same. Well, what's odd about it all, right, is, again, if a high-functioning autistic child has a certain routine and they keep talking about this certain routine, right, this goes against everything about a certain routine, you know, from no shoes to leaving at night, you know, like I said, not taking any money, not taking his phone. You know, you would think you would take his phone, but this goes against every ounce of routine that typically, based on what the parents are saying, like, yeah, like he likes his routine, you know, because it makes them feel safe. Does anyone know if they took cadaver dogs to the area where those... Yes, there was cadaver dogs. They had cadaver dogs, bloodhounds. But the canines, you know, like I said, picked up no scent. Bloodhounds can, I guess, pick up longer scents than a week, but typically canine is for 7 days. And the guy said, right, like if he was to walk to school or walk to the store or, you know, walk down the block to a friend's, the canines, right, normally would have picked up. Yes, it rained overnight, but really, is that really going to take away from all the scents of Sebastian? And even on the grass, if he was barefoot, that's a stronger scent than a shoe, right? One would have to think. So that's why this has become such a mind-boggling, mind-blowing case, you know, and hence why people keep targeting that Katie and Christopher have knowledge of this. People are saying, well, we don't have any proof that he was in, you know, Memphis and stuff like that. Again, I just listen to how things are being said and what they're being said. There's definitely a couple red flags, like we talked about yesterday, when Katie looks over on the Chronicles of Olivia interview, when she looks over to Chris to say, you know, like, and we pick up your niece, you know. But again, I can look at that one in a couple different ways. I can look at it because perhaps it was her niece or his niece, you know, maybe Michelle that was in here earlier, maybe that was her child, right? And it was a niece that they went to go pick up, you know, could be very likely. But then Christopher later on says, right, on the Smiley World, which someone pointed out, who was it? Sorry if I forget who pointed that out to me last night. Brain's tired on that. Anyways, where he says, if he would have went out the window, we would have heard him. So when people say things like that, because there's been quite a few things where you're like, dude, were you home? Were you not home? Home, not home. And because we've not seen any physical proof ourselves of that, leaves room to speculate, right? I just happen to look at it from, dude, you are the biggest idiot in the world if you're going to actually come on here and lie about where you are. That doesn't make sense, you know, but yet you see people do that all the time. I just don't believe in his case. I think that I'm not seeing this cover up from Katie going, you know, yeah, good one. Okay, yeah. Oh shit, slipped up there. I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing a mother who's genuinely hurt. Chris, who's not exactly an emotional person per se, comes off a bit aggressive. I'm sure he does care about Sebastian. Just it's in a way that a lot of us deem as like this very strict sergeant type father figure to him, that like Robin Rogers feels, you know, that Seth, was afraid of him and stuff like that. There's probably definitely truth to that. I believe, even if the family doesn't want to believe that, meaning, Christopher Proudfoot's family, no, because people are blinded by within the circle, right? Outsiders can see it a lot clearer than a family member can. So I can see that Sebastian could be, based upon what we heard come out of Christopher's mouth, absolutely somebody be, Sebastian be kind of, more terrified. Whereas he goes to his dad's just there to provide structure, but a lot more loosey-goosey over at his dad's house. Hence probably why he wanted to go live at his dad's house, perhaps. Not sure. Those are just speculations, by the way. KG Navy said they were still going out. Okay, let's go back to what you guys are saying down here. There is a ditch there. If Sebastian got in that ditch and it was dark, then he could have got away and not being seen. Water in the ditch and with him in it would affect the ascent. Yeah, but I know it's right. Gaming, right? Everyone's trying to find answers and the possibilities around this home that Sebastian Rogers just seems to have vanished. Hi, Queen. How are you? This post makes me think the search from yesterday found something. So they are asking everyone to stand down today. That is possible. We know Nick Perez said something about, that they didn't go look at it and stuff like that. I find that hard to believe myself, but we'll see. And in all honesty, we have to trust the process. When we don't know the answers, we hope that what we're not being told will come to fruition to us in the near future, that the LE and that are working every angle that they can to try to figure out what happened to Sebastian. We can take things only so far on the internet when we're not literally part of it. We can only go so far with the timeline and thought process and stuff like that. LE, FBI, TBI, whoever, they have all that info way beyond our scope of information. So I do believe in trusting the process, and leaving it up to them, because we're not going to. So when I say we're not going to solve it, we might have a good guess. We might come up to a point where we go, yeah, that's what I was saying the whole time. Or someone like in Riley Strain's case where TikTokers, found the bank card, which, obviously aided in helping to know that Riley was in that area, right? That his bank card was there. So stuff like that. But anyways, like I said, I'm not here to place blame on Christopher, Katie, Seth. Oh, definitely not Seth, but you know what I mean? It's more the Katie and Chris thing that people are doing out there. It's just a matter of having a timeline and then trying to understand that timeline. And if that's as far as we can take it, the only people that are going to give more information that are the actual people that are part of it, or the neighbors that are willing to spew information, even though they're probably told not to share it, I would think, for the sake of the investigation. Whatever door was open would probably have to be the front or the side garage one of those doors. Obviously, that Sweetie Pie Low said, "Oh, I wish I would have, talked to her more about that," because she was saying that one of the doors was open on that day. I'm going to venture to say it was probably more of one of the side doors, maybe the garage door or something like that perhaps might have been open, but we don't know that answer. Gaming, but he hated to be dirty, and I don't see him. Right, he did hate to be dirty, right? There's a lot of things to this whole thing about what seems weird, like that Sebastian shouldn't have done. Now, what he's capable of doing could be two different stories to what the expectation that the parents know about him is, I would still like to believe that he's alive out there, somewhere, and that he'll turn up at some point. That would be one of the best gifts to have happen. But obviously reality says that usually when somebody's missing and someone in his case and with high autistic and someone that obviously needs to wear Depends or diapers or something like that, and would soil himself and stuff like that. When someone doesn't come out of the woodwork, then of course the likelihood is stronger that something did happen to Sebastian and that he is not okay. Yeah, absolutely random thoughts, because that's all this is right now with Sebastian's case. It's just really about trying to produce somewhat of a timeline, and hence why Michelle, again, if she watches the channel, it's not about stalking somebody. That's ridiculous. This is about somebody commenting, about messaging them that they're more than willing to answer their questions, type of thing. Obviously, they're putting themselves out there to the YouTube, but it was really just about answering a few questions. One of my main questions was so if Sebastian's room is at the front and Katie if she's in the living room, which they kind of projected that way, well, would she not have seen Sebastian? Was her couch facing differently? Was she perhaps in the kitchen doing something else? Was she walking around with the phone talking to Chris? But the way it came across was that she was sleepy, in a sense. She was on the couch talking to Christopher, and that, hey, Sebastian, at nighttime, 9 o'clock, dude, light goes out at 9:08. She's talking to Christopher. Light goes out at 11:45 in the living room, and then as well the bedroom. So that would all mesh with exactly what's been said. What camper question, ma'am? What camper question? Oh, God, he's such a needy bitch. Where are you, buddy? Oh, what was the rumor that CP? Yes, they left in the. So yes, JLR had said it on his live that Christopher and Katie left today with their camper, and that Katie was driving the vehicle behind it. That's all I heard as well. Sharon Parker messaged me to tell me about it. Somebody else said about it in here. I was trying to go find the spot which JLR said it, but I got bored after 10 minutes of where he said it. I was too busy watching Seth in his little arm sling getting done up there. I know they're supposed to go to Nancy Grace tomorrow, right? That's correct. So no, I'm looking forward to that, to be honest, because hey, I just want more answers to the timeline, right? Nancy's going to ask those hardball questions, and hopefully we'll get some more information added to the timeline. So I'm looking forward to that, because if there's anybody that can get more information, and get straight to the point, it's Nancy Grace. Illuminati said it also. Yeah. And they were the ones that might have been watching them, right? Someone obviously was watching them to know that. Maybe a neighbor that called them up, that called up the creator and said, hey, look, we just saw this Ixnay on the, Ixnay highway type of thing. Well, there is something that's not right, but we just don't know what that something is, to be honest with you. They're investigating. They'll go to search areas when they're asked to. If something comes up that they feel like is necessary to go search, they will. But they're investigating, absolutely. One sec, guys. So, actually, I wish I could understand just how functional is. Apparent again, besides him having some social skills, in a sense. Other than that, he's a very smart, high functioning, or whatever you want to call it, individual. So, according to Seth, right, that, it's kind of like, he's in the mix of things. He just has a few cues of, personal skills type of thing that he lacks. But other than that, smart as a whip type of thing. And yeah, it's disingenuous for the CN to say that they're searching if they are not. Obviously, right now, Ali and CN are waiting on a lead. Well, I think it's one of those things, Lily B, that what we see and what they're actually doing are two different things. Absolutely, are they trying to find Sebastian? Is this considered cold to them? By no means. They are working, I'm sure, every angle that they possibly can. But when there's not enough information to go on, you know, a kid's missing, they do a whatever 5 to 10 mile search around perimeter. There's nothing to show anything. They can't financially, they could not keep searching and searching and searching into thin air. At some point, if they've done all this work, they have to pull back. And then it becomes, look, if we get a phone call and you know, we'll be there. But now they're investigating everything, right? They're going to go through every single iota of his phone, right? They're going to go back and forth over Katie's and Chris's story timeline and stuff like that. They're going to look at every aspect of Sebastian's world and every camera footage. So sometimes we don't give them enough credit that they do deserve, because just like we don't have that information at our disposal like they have, they've looked at tons of video footage from all the neighbors that offered anything up. So that, like I said, they're not going to update us and give us all that information all the time. They don't work that way. It's always about, here, we need your help, so here's some information. Oh, wait, there's this big rumor happening. Let's kind of put a stop to that and say this, you know, which was about the flashlight video. And other than that, they keep everything close to their vest, because in the essence, they use media and the public only when they need our help and they want to push something out there fast. Do we have the video with the lights at all or no? Yeah, we have the video. I mean, the video is there. You guys, I mean, again, I can play it, but just give me a second to have a drink and I'll go find that video. So just give me a second. Let me go find it on Channel 5, because I remember the quality on Facebook sucked. I see JLR just came off the live. Is that where all some people went? Didn't know he was live again. I'm not sure what he was saying.
The search for 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers, who's been missing for 18 days. An exclusive look at new video evidence. Thanks for joining us here at 6. I'm Rory Johnson.
And I'm Hunter Hoagland. A lot to get to here tonight. Authorities have scrutinized home security video from that Hendersonville neighborhood, trying to learn what happened to that teen with autism.
Now you can take a look for yourself. Our Nick Barris obtained video that appears to show two people near Sebastian's home the night his parents say he disappeared.
The video you're about to see is from early Monday morning, February 26th, around 3:10 a.m. Now, there are no street lights in the Stafford Court neighborhood, so it is at night, pitch black. What you will see here are these 2 points of light believed to be people with flashlights in the area around Sebastian Rogers' Hendersonville home. It is believed Sebastian left his home barefoot and with a flashlight sometime overnight. Since his disappearance, authorities have reviewed security video from homes in the neighborhood looking for clues.
We have had several clips that have come in.
And this one is getting the most attention, showing signs of activity around Sebastian's home the night he disappeared. You see two light sources, which we've circled to help you follow. For point of reference, the security camera was pointed toward the back of Sebastian's home in a common area. In the video, you see subject 1 with a light source in the lower right-hand corner. Then you see subject 1 with a light source in the lower right-hand corner. In a common area.
Wanted to stop that there just to give you guys that visual of what exactly I was talking about. He's not showing the house that's right behind Sebastian. Okay, the house, if you guys are looking at the left side, it's the one that you can barely see. That's Sebastian's house. He's not showing that angle. He's showing the angle from the camera off Stafford, and he's pointing into the common area. Like I said, he would be showing it from a different angle. You know, if it was from the back of the house, he wouldn't be showing this angle. But just like I showed you the camera on that house, right? Right, Gaming and Sleuthing? So you guys see what I mean? Flashlights have beams, no beams. Let me just play that back out.
Area. In the video, you see subject 1 with a light source in the lower right-hand corner. Then you see subject 2 briefly appear and move toward the first before that light source is covered or obscured by bushes. Subject 1, a few seconds later, then moves out of frame. Then subject 2 reappears and follows subject 1 off screen. It's a short time later, and it's very vague, but then you see one of the subjects moving quickly back through the common area, and that is it. I know, there's not much to see here. You certainly cannot identify anyone, but those close to the investigation tell me the mere fact that there is now evidence that someone is subject 1 with a light source in an area. In the video, you see subject 1 with a light.
Okay, so let's take a look around there. Try to think of the angle of that camera as well. So you got perhaps floodlights over here. You got tree whistling here with that is looking light. Anyways, just trying to get a grasp of where the angle and what they could possibly be seeing.
Source in the lower right-hand corner. Then you see subject 2 briefly appear and move toward the first before that light source is covered or obscured by bushes. Subject 1, a few seconds later, then moves out of frame. Then subject 2 reappears and follows subject 1 off screen. It's a short time later, and it's very vague, but then you see one of the subjects moving quickly back through the common area, and that is it. I know, there's not much to see here. You certainly cannot identify anyone, but those close to the investigation tell me the mere fact that there is now evidence that someone is in the area around Sebastian's home is significant. This video shows suspicious activity in the immediate area the night Sebastian disappeared. Could one of these subjects have been Sebastian? Did he meet and leave with someone? Sebastian's father says his son would not go with a stranger.
It's up in the air for me because I don't think he would get into a vehicle with somebody unless he knew them.
So what exactly are we seeing here? I know investigators are doing what they can to try enhancing the video for any more clues. For now, this video is now part of the Sebastian Rogers missing person file, and I'm told it could become more significant depending on where the ongoing investigation leads. We'll be following that.
Okay. Okay. So I believe that Christopher Proudfoot seen that footage, like he said, and that they weren't flashlights. What they were was somebody out there with cell phones, like someone said, at 3, or is it just the trick on the eye? And it's just other light sources that are, where the trees, you can see like what looks like the trees bustling. So let's just go back over to, we're going to go over to Google Maps instead. I think we'll do that. Okay. Just because it will give us a bit better. Hold on. I'll leave it off so that I'll leave off the border so we can go over to Google Maps. Okay. And so again, that's the home. You guys, I'm going to be like a free Uber for you guys, but we're going to get there. We're going to get there slower. Let's go. Come on. I might not get there, might drive up on somebody's grass or whatever, but I'll get you there. Okay. It's a free ride. So shut up. There we go. Stop. Okay. Camera right here, obviously. Okay. Floodlights right here. And thank you to Gaming and Sleuthing that had actually sent me photos. So somebody drove here, took pictures. Okay. So based on, hold on. So this camera does not look funny though, because when you look at it, it's hard to tell because it looks like the camera is facing here, but you don't know like the angle of it exactly. So it, for all we know, it could be catching something over here. But I mean, according to Nick Perez, okay, or Perez, sorry, my bad. Oh, sorry, you guys. Let me make that bigger for you. That ride was a letdown. I thought we were going off-roading. Too bad, so sad. Enjoy it. Thank you so much I'm struggling to get the angle in my mind. Okay, so again, let's make this bigger for you guys. I feel like since JLR's live stream ended, you guys, what was JLR talking about on his live stream? We're live here, so I wasn't sure what he was talking about. So hold on, I just got to get this out of my way here. Get out of my way, B. Get out of my way. I'm talking to the... Okay, wait. Hold on a second. Okay. So the camera footage was exclusive. Hey, where am I? Drunk again. How did I get up here? We want to get back down where this camera... See, if you look at... No. Let's go back up here. Okay, let me look at this. Come on. I can't get any closer. Wait, am I on... Wait, no. What happened? I'm on the wrong map. I'm on the wrong thing. Hold on. I need to be here with you guys. Oh my God, I was riding all by myself on Google or thinking I was showing you guys something. Okay, so let's take a look. Okay, look, see where that camera is? It's facing in this trajectory. Okay, it's facing in this trajectory. Ever so subtle, Sunny. Easy as she goes. Okay, easy as she goes. Let's see where we end up. Trying my best to try to keep it in some sort of trajectory here. Okay. So it's kind of really in this section is what it seems like. Okay. I think we're getting footage from that home in this trajectory. They got floodlights here, right? What else is here? Is there some lights coming off from this sitting area gazebo by chance? Is it a floodlight that's coming off of here? There's one thing I've learned, especially from Delphi, is that never believe what you see. Is it this floodlight? Is there a floodlight over here that's coming off? Is a shine that's projecting it? But anyways, so let's go just over to this. For if that's the home, let's go take a look if we can. Come on, giddy up. Get your big ass tree out of the way. What's up with that? Anyways, wouldn't shock me if there's floodlights at the end, like a lot of these homes. You'll see floodlights on both sides. Or maybe not. Can't see because there's a big ass tree in my way. See, we need, this isn't the look. This isn't the look. I remember, hey, let's see here. I'd have to go search for them again because I got Gaming, I think, sent me pictures like of this area, you know, but the trajectory seems to be, you know, somewhere in this area here, right? So I don't know, you know, again, sometimes what we project and what we see can easily be something else with lights. Maybe they let their dogs out and the timing is wrong on this one. 3 o'clock in the morning, she hears noise from Sebastian's room around 10. Apparently some unknown Uber driver car, something about 3 o'clock. And this is where, was it not you? Or somebody did. Oh, it was Doodlebug. It was Doodlebug. You're right. And the trees look different because obviously February, everything isn't flush and stuff like that. But anyways, the trajectory would be, regardless from within this area based on that camera footage. It wouldn't be from over here. Nick Perez is clearly showing it's this direction, right? So it really just depends on what's seeming to be, because I just know that what you see to the eye, if somebody plants a seed in your head and says that they're flashlights, it's going to be hard to get that out of your head, is it not? Because every time you look at the video, you're going to be like, pretty darn sure those are flashlights. Yeah, I can see what you're saying. Yeah, they're moving, and stuff like that. I'm feeling a bit naked. There we go. I feel better now. One sec. I need water. Where his Sebastian's home in this view. Let me show you. Right here, this home. Okay, this is the home. This is their home right here. Their home, Sebastian's, is like, this is the home behind them with the white trailer thing. So that is their home here. Right up there. Okay, but like I said, they weren't picked up by scent. There's no value to these videos. Christopher Proudfoot said that they saw the videos and they're not flashlights. So it leads me to believe that, I don't know if he even knows, because why didn't he say? Like, why wouldn't he have just said then what they are? But maybe when he looked at it, they said that they knew where the source was, and like, yeah, these just have no evidentiary value. So I would hate to include them as anything more than something that came out and something that was debunked, because I'm not going to, like, it's just, like I said, TBI is not going to come out and lie to us. There's no reason to believe that Christopher and Katie, and perhaps Seth didn't see that video or seen that video and were told, like, these aren't flashlights. And like Christopher says, like, we would love for it to be flashlights. I agree with that. But because a flashlight was said to be missing, a little keychain one, by the way, right? No, they haven't, Elizabeth. Uh-oh. She called you out there? Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, again, you guys can go play around with Google Earth or Google Maps yourself, right? And just go play with and see what's around there. Obviously, on Google Earth, you can typically take things back in time to different years to kind of look at the home. Let me just see if we can do that with the Google Earth. Share. Okay, that's. Let me just spin it around for a second here. Let me just see if we can go back in time. Okay, I guess not, because this is probably too new. It's not giving me. Yeah, see, it's not giving me a time to go back down the timeline because these homes were too new. So there's no data. Show historical data. There isn't any on there. Yeah. So looking at it from the upward angle, this is the home of Sebastian Rogers. This is the common area. This is the home with the camera here, which is facing exactly like this way. Okay. It's not even like, I'm not sure how much it's capturing. I'm not sure what it's all capturing, but it's facing this way. So It's somewhere in this section here, if anything. Like, obviously this guy's footage is genuine, right? That doesn't mean that it's flashlights. It's just something he came across at 3:10 in the morning, where you could see the lighting coming off the corner or something. And it very well could be this corner right here that has flood lighting. But there's definitely lighting coming out of this home off to the side. And then wherever else these light reflectors are coming from, or dog tags or reflectors, it's probably just a deception to the eye of what is true versus what we think we see. And I think that when something is planted in our head about flashlights, I think that if you didn't hear the word flashlight, you probably wouldn't think flashlight. Maybe some people would, but most people would kind of go, what the fuck is that? Like, what the heck is that? Has anyone came forward saying it's them? Well, maybe there is no them. That's just it. Maybe it's just simply lighting that's playing on the eyes. You're talking about the lights. Like I said, just because it's told to us that it's flashlights, right? And the video quality sucks because it's really dark in that section. It's like you're seeing movement. It doesn't mean that there's actually people and that they're actually flashlights, especially if we're being told that there's no evidentiary value to it and that they're not flashlights. I'm gonna tend to believe the TBI up and above anybody else. I don't care where Nick got his footage. It's because even the owner can look at that and think it's flashlight and think it's people, but that area is so dark, it just looks one way. And the minute a seed is planted is the minute, right? It's like, here, you guys look, because you believe it. When really, if there was evidentiary value, you guys trust me, they would be on top of that TBI, and that would come out saying, like, look, we know he left the house at this time, but they can't and they won't because it doesn't have any value. For me, it's coming from the gazebo, and right, a piece of it could be coming from you guys can see the lighting from one side, and to me, it could be that there's lights on the gazebo. It's windy, trees bristling around, who knows? But when I say that, got to remember it was February. There's only certain trees that have bustling going on. Other trees stay green and other trees don't. Yeah, that happened here, Kelly H. She came in here as well. You're talking about Michelle Proudfoot? Yeah. Truth Seeker. Love the name. Absolutely. Truth Seeker. But yeah, so it doesn't shock me that she went in JLR's chat, considering for Christopher Proudfoot, JLR is probably the biggest thorn in his side to him, right? That's hence why he went off in Smiley's True World. She came in here too, except for, I blew back up in her face because I just don't put up with that shit. If you don't watch the channel and you come here trying to say that we're slandering Christopher Proudfoot and accusing him in conspiracies, get to know your facts and stuff first before you come in here shooting off your mouth to me. If you want to come up here and talk and say your piece with regards, then come up here and say it. But, again, they have that opportunity, but they choose to speak in the chat instead. And then, go off obviously to JLR's chat and try to blast him a new asshole. But it's not going to work in JLR's channel anyway. Did JLR say, like, well, come up and talk? Did he even see? Did JLR, even see Michelle come in there? Well, again, each to their own perception, Kelly. I just want to put out the facts. I told her he was the one who made us not like him. He was the one that made us not like him. That's funny. Yeah. I'm just wondering, did JLR actually, like see her come in? Did he say anything back to her? I'll have to go watch the live. Anyways, just let me know because I don't mind pulling it up on JLR's channel. He was only on for like 53 minutes, I think it was, or 51 minutes. Hi, Rocky Wolf. How are you? Anyways, I get it, right? I mean, at the end of the day, Christopher Proudfoot, he's definitely being attacked in a sense. There's no ifs, ands, or what about it, right? His perception to the public has not been very well taken. So being the sibling, they're going to come in here all feisty and this and that because now the sister is like trying to protect her brother, and it's like for me, it's like I understand it. Am I going to take somebody's mouth in a sense if they're going off? No, you want to come talk, and voice your opinions, say stuff perhaps that we don't know about Christopher. But the thing is, I don't think there's any damage control that can be done when it comes to Christopher at this point. I feel like that, he's had multiple opportunities for the damage control part. I don't care if people still like myself, if you believe he's innocent, is he ever going to be well liked in this space? No, because he gave that impression. He gave off the wrong impression to the public, and regardless, people aren't going to like him one way or the other. That's my personal thoughts about it all. Again, and if you're watching, please hit subscribe, please hit share, bring awareness. There was somebody in T-Rev's chat named Angela defending Chris. Then suddenly she left, and Michelle Proudfoot shows up in every chat known to man. All Chris is, right, yeah, asking me. Yeah, I guess instead of going to search for perhaps Sebastian today, with Seth Rogers, I guess they took it upon themselves to go, you know what, we're just going to go troll the channels that are disrespecting, like they're going to have an impact, like they're going to have some sort of impact. Yeah. No one can freaking push me around. That's for sure. And like, but so what are they hoping to attain by that? That they're going to go in there, going to go save my brother's ass, shut the front door, So that's pretty much how I saw it. Anyways, so whatever. Like I said, I understand it. Let them go power tripping into the different channels and stuff like that. Well, they're right. They're having an impact, but not a positive one. Let me put it this way: they would be best to stay out of it because they're not going to do themselves any of their favors trying to stand up for Christopher Proudfoot at this time. You know what? We'll let Nancy Grace chew some, a bit of his butthole out. Let him sit in the hot seat. You want to answer those hard questions? Go ahead. And it's not because I feel like he's guilty. I knew she was there. I knew she was there. I knew it. I was just waiting for you to pop up. I will say, what do you say? I will be willing to talk to you off camera, but you really need to, there's no defamation. There's no defamation. There's no defamation though, Michelle. If you like to talk off camera, let me know. You need a lesson taught. Oh no, I need a lesson taught. You need to shut your trap is what you need to do. Honestly, I knew you were there. It's purposely why I was pushing it because again, you sit there and you go around to sit. You know what? Hey, again, if you want something nice to say about Christopher Proudfoot, this isn't defamation. Like you do not know what you're talking about defamation. Your own brother is literally putting himself on blast because his mouth is bigger, than anyone's when it comes to asking for help. Okay. He put himself in a bad spotlight. I didn't do that. I can talk about the way he's talking. Absolutely, Michelle. But, you need to at least educate yourself on what defamation is. Again, I have not accused your brother of anything. I would love to be face to face with you and talk with you. I'm a very reasonable person, but you need to get your facts straight before you open up your big mouth. Okay? Seriously, why don't you come into a chat and soften up and then try to talk to people? But you're literally going to sit there like no other troll. Nobody is going to stick up for you, Michelle. when they have Chris Proudfoot doing a bad job at looking to the public, okay? So when you come into somebody's chat, maybe try to get people to understand that Christopher is being portrayed in a bad light, that yes, he might be harsh in this, but you know what? Everyone's doing their job to search for Sebastian and that. So what are you doing besides coming into the channels today? Did you aid and help in Sebastian's search today with Seth Rogers? Did you do that? It's not about telling her. I just hate it when dumbasses come into my chat, try to project this strong superior attitude, and they don't have their facts straight. And the more you speak, Michelle, the more stupider you look. If that's defamation, sue me. All right? Sue me. Go right ahead. But your brother has put himself in a spotlight, and you're making yourself look like a total idiot by literally going into these different chats and saying that everyone's defaming your brother. Okay? I get you're upset. I get you're sticking up for your brother. But you know what? Your family, you're blindsided. We are not family. So what we're projecting or what we're seeing to the world, what your brother is saying, is not coming across great to the public eye. You need to get your facts straight. Well, that's just it. Focus on finding that. You know, I need to be taught a lesson. I need to be taught a lesson how to care about people, post about the missing and the murdered. What the frick do you do all day? You're obviously not at the search. Like, how embarrassing on yourself to come in here and troll the different channels like JLR and TREV and project yourself in a positive light when you're making yourself look stupid. Like I said, you could come in here and say a lot of things. But instead, like I said, my name's Michelle, I'm going to coach y'all. Like, who gives a shit, Michelle? You're the one looking like an idiot now. We're just trying to bring awareness to what? Your step-nephew's case? And then you're just trying to sling shit? This isn't about Christopher Proudfoot. This is about Sebastian. So why are you going into the channels? Oh, you're defaming my brother. How about thank you for supporting about Sebastian Rogers? Anyways, so Michelle, would Sebastian have run off to your brother's trailer? What is that address? Michelle Proudfoot, here's a legal term for you. Pattern of practice. Chris has a pattern of practice, which is true. Hi, Jazz. How are you? And you know what? You can reach out to me all day long on my messenger. You can tweet me on Twitter, type of thing. I can set up a time to talk to you if you want. Go right ahead, Michelle, okay? Okay? At Crime and Shame. At Twitter, you can find me. My messenger is Sunny Austin. You can find me there. You can message me from the It's a Crime and Shame Facebook page. Plenty of things. Prefer Messenger. Actually, or Twitter. Doesn't matter. You need to be taught a lesson, Sonny. You need to be taught a lesson how to care about people and not talk to my brother like that. Hey, Michelle, why aren't you looking for Sebastian Wright? I just realized how stupid you are looking, Michelle. Oh, my Shaw bill's ready. Okay, thank you. Thanks to you again, Anna, for buying a taco. Taco. Michelle Proudfoot. I'm in the States, so come for me. I'll show you an idiot brother a lesson. Yeah, first of all, this isn't fun and games. This is about Sebastian Rogers, right? Again, so let's make it about Sebastian Rogers and not about, say, Christopher Proudfoot in that type of light. Come in here, like I said, with a tude, you're going to get tude back. I'm not one of those ones that's going to kiss your ass and bend over and go, oh my God, it's Michelle Proudfoot. Oh my God, it's just an honor having you in the chat. No, how about, hey, Sonny, thank you guys for covering this case. You know, you're being a little harsh on my brother, perhaps, but thank you for your coverage. But again, you'd actually have to watch the channel to know that. Or, yeah, Michelle A.K. Chris. For all we know, it's a made-up account troll, right? Could be. I'm in Scotland. You're welcome to come teach me a lesson. I only talked to you and Alex. I've only talked to you and Alex. I don't know any of the people you're talking about. JLR, someone just said you were in JLR's chat. You know exactly who JLR is because Christopher Proudfoot knows exactly who JLR is. He's out there searching for Sebastian, right? But he calls out your brother. You know, but I know as much as you do regarding everything. Don't understand the accusations. But you're the one coming at me, though, Michelle. You're going to teach me a lesson. Teach me a lesson on what? That I haven't accused your brother of the disappearance of Sebastian? So you're going to teach me that lesson? I don't need you to teach me lessons. I'm sure I'm older than you and wiser than you. You know, I'm here for a purpose, and the purpose is to help the missing and the murdered. I'm not here to line my pocket, feed my pocket. You know, that if that comes with the territory, so be it. You know, but I'll always put my care about people first and foremost. But you're coming in here saying these accusations without knowing this channel. You know, so you're not making yourself, or you're not putting Christopher in a better light by coming in here. You know, like Robin Rogers came into the chat last week and she had her opinions, you know, and I wasn't sitting there going, oh, I believe that Christopher Proudfoot had something to do with it. She has her right to her opinions. But this is not what that channel is, you know, trying to say. It's talking about what we're seeing visually. And if the truth is that your brother, you know, comes off like he's, you know, more like whatever commentator in a sense, and that he's speaking up and he's being brass. He was very brass in that conversation. Like he was really brass and very arrogant, actually. And, you know, it rubs people the wrong way. So if you're coming in here trying to defend that, you know, it's not going to happen. In fact, you're only going to make it look worse by coming in here and going to the different channels. I don't know who Alex is. And no, you didn't actually talk to me. You came into the chat with accusatory type of thing. You know, there's such things called public information. Everyone's aware of it. We know exactly what the address is. We've seen it all over the news. I can easily pull it up. It's called public information. I was not trying to dox him whatsoever. It's just as easy as going to any search engine and finding somebody's phone number. No different than going to 411. Okay, anyone can do it. You know, and all I simply did, Michelle, was want to ask him some questions in regarding the timeline. You know, feeling the sympathy of what's going on, but it's for Sebastian. Yeah. I just wanted to clear up some of the timeline so that we can insert it into the timeline so that there's a clearer picture. You know, I'm so sorry that your families are facing this with Sebastian. I am, you know, but you're not going to be doing yourself any favors to the public by going in and kind of attacking a creator. I get it. If you're feeling upset and you're sticking up for your brother, that's a sibling thing to do, right? But again, to be honest, you're only going to make matters worse if another Proudfoot is coming up looking aggressive when people are just trying to bring awareness to the case. And it doesn't matter. Well, no, I mean, yes, it hurts when people say things, you know, obviously about a family member, about yourself and stuff like that. Obviously, it's got to sting, right? But the reality of it is we're talking about millions and millions of people that are following this case, right? And again, people go off other people's impressions. So he's not leading a good impression. You're not doing him any favors by trying to come in here. If anyone's going to take it off of him, it will be himself. But I don't really see a big redemption on himself because his last interview, he was so abrasive that people now are like, yeah, dude, whatever. You need help. We're not going to help you too much. You know, like we'll put out Sebastian's thing. I just wanted to clear up some timeline. I got no hate for your brother. You know, he is who he is. You know, I'm not saying he doesn't care about Sebastian or anything like that. He obviously has he out of himself has said about his strictness that he has in the household. What did Aspen say? No need to argue. We're all praying for Sebastian. Where did your brother go with his camper today? Are they heading out to search? Probably they could be heading just back up to his work, you know, and she's going with him. We don't know. Again, speculation. Everyone's going to do it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, hey, Michelle, if you're in here, like, do you want to tell us, or is that private? But I didn't create the scene. That's just the thing. I didn't create the scene. You came in here and you spoke up, and then you came back again, and I figured you were in here, and then when I seen you pop up another message, I was like, I knew it, because I'm not stupid. I didn't fall off a turnip truck, you know. But anyways, I told you how you can reach me. You can reach me on Twitter, message me there, or you can message me on Messenger, and then we can go from there if you want. If there's something that you feel like you want to say, you know, in a sense with regards to your brother, feel free. If you have any more information that you wish to share, then feel free. It's about Sebastian, Michelle, that first and foremost. You know, your brother, Katie, and Seth Rogers are obviously the people that are the parents and step parent that's involved in this situation going on with Sebastian. But everyone wants Sebastian to be brought home safely and sound, and look at all the different aspects of the thing. So, anyways, I will leave it at that. If you want to answer where Katie and Chris perhaps went in the, like, if even if it's just a generic answer that they went to search, or that Chris had to go back to work, you know, fair enough. If you don't want to answer it, fair enough. Yeah, that's my Twitter. Thank you. As for my Facebook, it's at the end of it is /bear1997. That will bring you to me, facebook.com/bear1997. That will take you to my personal Facebook. So, like I said, Michelle, here's another legal entry. Chris Proudfoot has the CPS investigations in at least 2 marriages. The recent CPS case was with Sebastian. Yeah, so I'm not gonna lie. I actually lone wolf. I actually never actually got into that stuff, you know, in the sense when it came to Christopher, because I deemed them not really having anything to do with the disappearance of it. I actually didn't look into that whole CPS stuff and stuff like that. He's talked about it and stuff like that, but that was stuff that I just didn't, you know, learn about, you know, I heard about it, type of thing, but that's pretty much as far. Because if I don't deem that the father and mother, I feel like they're being, sorry, the stepdad and the mother are being genuine, you know, and I don't feel like there's any like activity going on there, then I'm not going to be propelled to dive too deep into stuff like that, whether some other people will, you know. Thank you very much. I fell off a carrot truck. It was your brother's? Absolutely. It simply was. Yeah. Aspen, did you receive my email? Aspen, I got you guys. I'm so thirsty. I'm diabetic, so I'm always thirsty. We can video call on Monday. We'll reach out later. Have a good day. Okay, well, like I said, just message me first, and then we can set up a time if you want, Michelle. All right. Anyways, prayers for Sebastian Rogers, prayers to your family, prayers to the Rogers family. And again, hopefully some answers will come in the way of something good. And hopefully he's still alive out there. You know, obviously everyone wants a safe return. It's very heartbreaking all around. And I know we're people that do not know your family personally, but it doesn't stop us from caring or wanting to put that out there. That's why I'm in this space, you know, to bring awareness to the missing and the murdered. All right. So you take care and you have a good day. And if you wish, like I said, just message me on Messenger or Twitter, and then we can set up a time to call on Monday. Anyways, thank you, Michelle. Somebody, yes, I believe that was Chris's sister when somebody proves it to me. Probably is. You know, I can't see someone making up an account pretending to be a sister, you know, to be honest with you. The email. So, prayers, justice for Sebastian. So, in saying that, oh, I need a drink. Sorry, guys. I'm just so thirsty today. And I need to go out later. I didn't go out yesterday. I ended up doing 2 Sebastian Rogers streams yesterday. Again, trying to give you guys the up-to-date speed of information that I know about. As for what happened yesterday, again, with the dogs, there was one dog sniffed, or one dog came across an area. It was said that there was 5 other dogs and that dogs were on their way. So who knows what became of that. So before people get on their high perches and start preaching about it was only 1 dog, not 6. 1 dog was seen during the live stream. Whatever happened after that, no idea. I'm not boots on the ground. JLR is, Chronicles of Olivia are, and that's where that information both came from. So we'll leave that part at that. Other than that, for people that are coming in, we were going over the timeline, and I'll quickly go over that again in just a moment. I'm just going to grab a drink. Okay, guys? Oh, while I'm doing that, maybe I'll just quickly play the home video for you again, just so you can get a grasp again of what, let's see, what Chris and, well, mostly Chris was saying. Let me just find that video. I think it was this one.
Come in and check as well the 11 times, or did they do forensics like luminol or anything like that?
Okay, now again, because there are people out there that don't understand this, this is not their furniture in this home. It is a staging when it was being sold by the Lintons that had been in this home. This is just to go over with the questions that were being asked to Chris and Katie and to the setup and the layout of their home.
No.
Asking.
No. That I can answer. No, they haven't done that. We actually, Katie and I sat down at our table in our dining room, and that's basically where everything conducts itself. We sat down with them in the dining room, and I asked them flat out, I was like, what about fingerprints?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, can we not take fingerprints? What can we do? Can we check this? Can we check that? And they said no, because, and they explained why fingerprinting would not necessarily be where they would get a hit, was ridges and things like that compromise the fingerprint.
Yeah.
Now, and he goes, despite TV and the movies, that stuff you see is not necessarily true. I was like, okay, well, that's cool.
Thank you, Erica.
They said, think of anything. Well, we were thinking and asked them, how about this? And how about that? What about this? What about that? And we got shot down.
Yeah. So, is there or is there not a couch in front of the back door?
No, there is a couch in front of a door.
In front of a door. Okay. I was just wondering, so can he get out the back? Okay, so he can go.
Is there an exit out the back of the house? Yes. That's unobscured from anything? Yes.
Okay, but what I'm asking is, how did you know that he went specifically out the front door? What made you think that?
We presume that he left out the front door. We never know 100%, obviously, but we presume based off of process of elimination, going over it with law enforcement, going over the house, where things are, how things are, Sebastian's routine, and the fact that that's the door that he always uses or prefers to use, because I won't say 100% of the time he does come in with me through another door, but that's the door Sebastian prominently uses. That's the one that if he were going to sneak out of the house or leave the house for whatever reason, that's the most reasonable door that he would have left out of. Any of the others would have made noise or not been,
or would not have been locked.
Mm-hmm.
So the back door would not lock
from the outside like the front. No, you'd have to have the key.
So I'm not going to describe every door lock in our house.
No, I understand
that's a safety thing.
Yeah, I understand that. Don't do that.
But what I can say is there's only 2 doors in the house that he could have gone out, where he could have locked
from the
on his own or from the outside. And the one, he wouldn't have gone out because of how much noise it makes.
Yeah.
Everybody would have, plus it would have been seen on camera. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
I mean, it would have been seen on camera. So by suspicion or reasonable elimination of all these doors, it's front door.
Okay. And there's no, and there was no windows unlocked or anything like that that y'all can tell or could tell. I'm sure they looked at all that.
Yeah, with
Yes,
the
yeah,
screens intact and things like that.
yeah. Nothing exterior of the building of our house has been altered. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, and that's why it was like, huh? Not only that, but for him to go out the window, so to speak, he would have
Well,
landed in the flower bed and barefooted. Yeah, we'd have heard something because he had landed on it and screamed.
yeah. 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 All right. Okay. So let me get these people. I know they're itching for some hard
That's fine.
questions and I've been, all right. So, let's see. I know that girl has been wanting to ask like what he had on. I don't think Katie heard me a while ago, but, like when y'all were out to eat Sunday, like what he had on, that day, like when he went out to eat.
His
And
tennis,
let's go ahead.
his tennis shoes, jeans, and a black T-shirt with Grogu on the front.
Okay. And then he changed before he went to bed into the black.
The black sweatpants with the white stripes down the side and a long sleeve black shirt.
Okay. And that,
What
I
did
think,
you say,
Was
Wheeler?
originally listed on the missing poster as a sweatshirt, and everybody mistaken it for a hoodie. And even Seth said himself that we both were trying to get that corrected because
Yep.
when they said sweatshirt, everybody assumed it meant hoodie, not long sleeve black shirt.
Mhm. And I, because, and I'll have to say, because it did not have stripes on it, it was black sweatpants. It did
Mm-hmm.
not say the white stripes on it. So that was a big one for me. That was a huge.
And then
Mm-hmm.
another thing, they're not sweatpants. So some of these young cats out there probably don't understand where I'm fixing to go with this. But
Why
us
call
older
them
folks,
sweatpants?
go back and think of the 1980s Adidas pants where you had the white stripes down the side, almost like a tearaway style pants.
Yeah.
That is what the pants were. They weren't sweatpants.
I know what you're talking about. Exactly.
That's why I'm like, older folks will know. These younger kids, I don't know if they'll know or not.
Yeah. I know
I
exactly.
just call them sweatpants, but
Well, there's a difference.
Just quickly, I'll stop that just for a second there. It's almost over. But okay, so obviously you added me to Messenger. So I just saw that picture. I'm not going to show that picture right now. I want to look at it first. I don't like to just sometimes show something if it's, something I want to spend a little bit more time looking at, but I appreciate that, gaming. As for this was an interview done on the Smiley Stories World with Christopher and Katie the other day. So, yes, this was a live interview, but it's from the other day from, again, the Smiley's World. I'll put the link to that video. It's a 3-hour, basically, conversation. So I'll drop the link for that. Hey, you have my name. So my nickname's Sunny, but my real name is Sonia with a Y. So nice to meet you, twin. I have a twin though, just saying. Anyways, I'll drop the link for that video so you guys can all listen to it yourself if you haven't. And thank you very much, Mr. Electric. Again, while we're all trying to do, a job of trying to bring awareness to cases and stuff like that. And there was some wheeze, there was some oddities in the wheeze, hence why, but obviously the police and whatever will know. Again, he would have to be the biggest idiot in the world to claim that he was in Memphis if he wasn't, right? So I can't see him doing that. I can't see Christopher going publicly and saying, I'm in Memphis when if he knew that was a lie, it would not make sense. Because obviously they would know he was lying in a second. Do they watch the internet? Of course they do. We know they talk about it all the time. Anyway, so I'll just play this one out. This was just certain questions that people had because, like myself, one of the questions I had is, why do they keep saying the front door? We know that he had 3 pairs of shoes, old tennis shoes, new tennis shoes, and a pair of boots. So his mother bought him the new tennis shoes, and I believe Seth bought him the pair of boots, and they were at the front door. So Nancy Grace had asked Seth, like, how do you know that it was just 3 pairs of shoes? Like, like, to me, like, yes, Seth made a comment to that Sebastian had slippers at his house. So, a lot of us were thinking, well, okay, did he go out in slippers then, or somebody, or maybe Chris's shoes, like, type of thing? Because meaning everything that should be consistent about a high functioning autistic child is not making sense to a child that would just leave without taking his phone, without taking any money, unless there was an abduction of some kind. We know his bedroom's in the front, but again, there's no camera footage of anything. So it could just be the fact that behind everything, that, again, when people say trust the process, it's because the process will usually come out of the woodwork with regards to the truth behind where Sebastian is or where he isn't, in a sense. So I'll just play this out.
Okay, are you ready? Well, let me get some of their questions, and then I'll ask you a really hard, I think it's a hard question.
Okay.
I might put you on the spot, but.
Nah, you're fine.
Okay. All right, let's ask theirs first, because I don't want you to go, oh, I'm over here.
No. I gave you my word, and I told you I'll stick to my word.
Yeah, can I ask, then I'll ask you now before I go to theirs, before I forget.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
What in the world is this on your arm on day 8, the interview? It's a scratch or a bite mark?
Left arm or right arm?
Oh, I don't know. It's the one where you were in the green shirt. And I think it was the right arm.
So right arm slightly above the elbow. I'm guessing.
I think it was right below, if I'm not mistaken.
So I've got 2 spots on one on my hand, and I got one on closer to my elbow. They're 2 spots.
Uh-huh.
We have little Morkies, and we have one that's very playful. We have one that's not so playful. And I like to roughhouse with my little Morkies, and I put my hand down, and they chase it around, and I don't stop, and I let them nibble, and I've been dumb enough, and I've gotten scratched by the bigger one.
Oh my God. I was muted that entire time. What part did you hear? Did you, when I was showing the picture of his arm, did you hear anything I said? Nothing? Well, I hate it when I do that. Nothing. Okay. So, okay. Well, let's talk about this first. Okay. So, what I was saying about this is when you read it, it's perceived as if they organized it. We have organized. Well, we know that they did not organize it, but what I was saying was that it simply could be that we know Seth was the one that reached out. The head of Cajun Army said, I've not talked to Katie. I have not talked to Christopher. I have talked to the father. So chances are when Katie uses the word we, she's referring to the fact that she probably more like Christopher, because Katie doesn't seem to, I don't think, like to talk to Seth too much. Seems like it's Christopher that talks to Seth. That probably Seth and Christopher talked, and Seth said that he's asked the Cajun Army to try to help, and hence they used the word we to make it seem like it was all three of them, because trying to project like a unified thing. So I think that's just word salad on that Seth has said it, so Katie used the word we, but they use the word we a lot, even when it shouldn't be used. But anyways, that's how I feel about that. I don't think that there was any ill will or ill intent on this one. I think Seth had talked with them and said that he had asked the Cajun Army. She used the word we as if, all three of them in a sense, when we know that, a Cajun Army. Do you know what I mean? I think that that's exactly what happened. I'm not going to read something more into something that to me isn't there. I don't think that they were trying to be braggadocious, like, yeah, we reached out. I think it's just more that, again, they were supposed to, all three of them as a unit, decide when they did interviews and did different things. Anyways, chances are it's just simply, she's using the word we, meaning all three of them, but Seth is the one that actually reached out. Now, as for this mark one on the arm, stop screen present. Okay. So I've not seen this picture of the arm. The only time I even heard about it was when it was brought up on the Smiley Show. So I'm not like I said, if this was in a Facebook group, well, you typically don't find me in Facebook groups. So unless someone sends it to me, like which happened here today, but I looked at it, so I will show it to you because obviously it's out there on the internet. At the end of that clip I was playing, actually, Christopher was explaining about this. Now, for me personally, knowing that I play around with imagery and stuff like that, obviously to the right and to the right again, we have enhanced and enhanced images. So the minute it's enhanced is the minute it's going to look a lot bigger to somebody's eye than it actually is. No different than looking through a magnifying glass. So the vision that you're getting to me on the right side, those two images seem probably perhaps more deeper than they probably truly are. And it's making it look to the eye that it's more of a vicious teeth marks. And I'm not saying that it is or it isn't. I would have to see a better picture than just this little piece circled here. Either way, he was explaining himself. I think that beyond this picture, regardless, for anyone that thinks that Christopher had something to do with the disappearance of Sebastian and stuff like that, again, I think that Ellie would probably have seen this mark. Maybe he explained it, but they would have a lot more information if they felt he was being dishonest, about everything. So again, once we enhance something, obviously it becomes more, like I said, bigger probably than what it is. It could simply be scratches and not teeth marks. I get why someone might think that it looks like teeth marks, but I'm only seeing a little piece of the picture. So again, thank you, Streamlabs. So again, everyone has their own perception. This is out there. Thank you, Gaming, for sending it to me. Again, I hadn't seen any picture up until this one here. Again, your thoughts are your thoughts. I'm not, like I said, when it comes to Christopher Proudfoot, Katie, and all that stuff, like I said, I'll let that process happen. If if they had any involvement, the police would know this already. Okay. But again, I don't feel like they do. I feel like they're being genuine. I just feel that Christopher Proudfoot is being too abrasive. And you know, like there are little things that he's saying, like, well, we would have heard him go out the window. But again, the police will know if he's in Memphis. We just haven't seen anything visually to that. Let's see here. So each to their own thoughts. Okay, guys? I just want to say that. We're all here. We all have our rights to our own free thinking type of idea. And again, people can easily take that and twist it to more than what it is, you know, or not. It's really up to you. Let's see, what else do we got? Do we have anything else? Well, we had this earlier for anyone that's coming in. We had this message. Probably going to get going here in a few minutes. Okay. So we had this, and it says there's a method to our madness. A United Cajun Navy network of volunteers is currently assisting in several high and low profile missing person cases throughout the country. When we say trust the process, I mean, sometimes things need to play itself out through a process of elimination. Right. And that's what I see happening here. I get that this case is very frustrating on the brain. Again, you know, you try to put something into a timeline to make sense of it. And the more that the Proudfoots, when they've spoke, right? Like I said, either they really suck at being interviewed, but it hasn't done them any favors. You know, in the first interview on the Duchess, why would you go to a YouTube channel instead of to the media? And apparently, like I said, they were all supposed to have an agreement about, you know, before they did anything, they were supposed to talk to each other. Christopher Proudfoot, you know, basically came out and said, well, it's kind of like they ended up each doing things on their own. And basically that was it, really. But they were supposed to stay on the kind of the same page together. But something happened there, and they weren't doing things together. Anyway, as you can tell, or else they probably would have been at the search as well. But anyways, so like I said, those are all words out of Christopher Proudfoot's mouth. But in the first interview on the Duchess, you know, Christopher said a lot more things. Second interview, they lacked saying anything about the flashlight. And they, in fact, have, did they talk about the flashlight ever again? Besides Seth Rogers talking about it? I can't remember, because one interview with Seth was at 4, but that was a 3-hour interview. So I'm not sure, because, you know, normally the interviews were, you know, decently, right? 3 hours, you're like, okay. I mean, start falling asleep during them, you know, because you're tired and just sitting there listening to somebody talk. It's a long time, 3 hours is. Anyways, bottom line is that then in the third interview, they were just holding hands because they didn't want to, too emotional to go on cameras. Fourth interview was, I guess, with Chronicles of Olivia, where she was in their home speaking. And then we got more information again, but we got some added information. So it's just been a very inconsistent pattern of these interviews. And hence, as it's gone on, you know, Christopher Proudfoot has been a lot more abrasive, as we've seen at the start of the Smiley World. So yeah, so I said last night I was going to try to reach out to him on Messenger, because I had sent him 3 messages, and he said he was wanting to answer messages. Clearly, both of their messengers instantly go to no answer. You know, I mean, maybe by this point, I don't know. They're supposed to be on Nancy Grace, I think tomorrow. So all I can say is that I'm looking forward to seeing that, just because I would like a timeline. I'd like to know, have more information to this timeline. I would like to know where Katie was in the home, not because of any guilt, just because I would like to know where she was in the home during that time that she was talking to Chris. So that if Sebastian did sneak out, okay, Now we know that there was an opportunity that he possibly could have snuck out of the door. But if Katie is sitting in the living room, and Sebastian's door is right there, like the hallway to come out, or she would have seen him at any angle from that living room. So was she up and moving about when she was talking to Chris? Did Sebastian sleep in his clothes? Was his bed normally made, right? But did he sleep, like, was the tracker pants, the Adidas type style tracker pants and that shirt, considering he changed from jeans to his tennis shoes came off, his jeans came off, and I'm not sure if he changed his shirt as well, because both times it sounds like he was wearing a long sleeve black shirt. So if he put on black pants with white stripes, is that something he normally would have went to sleep in? Like, was that deemed as pajamas to him? This is the first I've heard anything from Mom and Step. I haven't seen any other ones, so I'm clueless on so much. Well, there is. There's one on Dutch's YouTube channel. Were they on Climatity? Can't remember. What was that stuff? No, I can't remember. Anyways, then WSMV was the second time. Facebook, I seen it from Fox 17 on Caitlin Miller. Her Fox 17 was on that. Then the next one I know about myself, because I was trying to keep track of them, was Chronicles of Olivia. And then Smiley World is the last one that I know about. And that's the one where he was really abrasive at the start, especially starting when he was talking about JLR, when she brought up that, because bottom line is, obviously, News Nation, Court TV, Nancy Grace, the typical media stations, they can bring awareness to their point that they do. Social media can, of course, do a lot in a very short period of time, but obviously bigger channels, can have more people watching and can spread it faster than a smaller channel. It's just a given. Smaller channels, of course, we love to be like, I would love to be able to say, talk to Christopher and Katie and ask them my own questions, just to add more to that timeline. If it happens, so be it. If it doesn't, my world's not going to end, right? I'm covering a case. If somebody comes up or doesn't come up, at the end of the day, doesn't matter, as long as we're spreading awareness about Sebastian Rogers. But I just wanted to, people aren't asking some questions, and I would just wish that I could get those answers to some of those questions that are out there. I feel like we got a lot of answers, or quite a few answers, in the Smiley World interview, but there was more. There's still more questions that could be answered, need to be answered, in a sense, just for the sake of a timeline to make sense of it all. Because everything most people know right now is that this home, it's like Sebastian just disappeared, and yet it would go against every grain. Says that on our own three. You shut up over there. You shut up. I have to run. Prayers for Sebastian. Yeah. Who are you again, Aspen? You co-host of the show or something like that? I think that Chris talked about that. He talked about that he almost got fired from his job. Okay. Now, I don't know the circumstances behind that. He never spoke of that. So I'm not sure. Typically, if someone's going to lose their job, you would think, well, hold on, your stepchild's missing. Why would you lose your job? So I'm not really sure what it is for that. Like, I don't know if it was getting bad publicity and they didn't want that for their firm by chance, or people were going down, like true crime sleuths were going down, and it was creating, again, like bad shit, or it could be something totally different. But it was obviously something, right? Like, maybe it's because they needed him there, but the world still keeps running for money and dollars, regardless of what's going on in someone's personal life. Who knows? He didn't expand on it. But even I was like, oh, really? Like, when he said that, so, I mean, I was amazed that he kind of said that. I would, because that's kind of personal. But obviously he said it for a reason. And that's obvious, but I don't know that reason. So I don't know if it's because of true crime sleuths going down to his work site and stuff like that or not. But as far as he said, no, everything's fine now. Like I didn't lose my job and nothing like that. So I'm not sure where that actually sits and stuff like that. But, it did bug me when I heard him say that because, like if your stepchild's missing, what would cause you to lose your job? Like what? Because again, you're only a number out there in this thing that we call life. Anytime you think you're special to an employer, you can think again. You are just a number. You are expendable, dispensable. And we all know, if you don't know that by now, then you should go bang your head against a rock or something, because everyone knows that no matter how much someone says that, oh my God, you're the best, you're the greatest, you're this, you're that. When it comes down to it, dollars over you, will always come up and above you. You are not special, right? Dollars will always come before you in this world that is greedy. And that's just the sad truth of it. That's not trying to be negative. That's just the sad truth of it. It's happened to me. I've seen it happen over and over again to others. And that's just a sad truth. Once you realize you're just a number and that you're not special to any boss, even though they tell you how special you are, if it comes, when the bottom line comes to it, your job will be gone if it needs to be. If it means saving money or this or that, I'm so sorry I have to do this to you. Hi, Half Pint. According to Krista in Smiley's interview, has almost fired it. And is right, exactly. Yeah. And again, it's just like these little facts, like somebody might say something in a chat and then somebody believes it and stuff like that. To me, I'd rather go to the horse's mouth, right? If you want the truth, go to the horse's mouth. Now, whether you believe that that's the truth or not is another story. But I would rather hear it from, the horse's mouth than anybody else's. That's the way I feel about it. But no matter what Christopher says, people are gonna, people are, for the most part, are gonna be like, dude, you're a liar. You're a liar. You're a liar. So my niece is trying to message me during a live. That's not going to happen. Quit messaging me now. 1 second here. I got to turn off notifications. Yes, I'm doing the YouTube channel and I'm on a live. Mute notifications. Sorry, niece. This is my, the one that has drug issues. That is 33. Yeah. Anyways, haven't heard from her in like months. Anyways, but she's the one that's having meth issues and different things on and off. So she's just trying to message me all of a sudden. Based off that info, I think when we left today with the camp, he's going back to the RV park where the camper, while he's working in Memphis. That's probably true. That at the, hey, have fine. At the end of the day, right? Regardless. Now, Seth's situation, Roger's situation, perhaps is different. Perhaps he's told that he's on paid leave. Okay. Which wouldn't shock me if he was on paid leave. But the thing is like life doesn't give a shit about you, in a sense, because you still have to earn money, pay bills, pay electric bill. You have to do that stuff, right? Christopher Proudfoot is not Sebastian's father, right? It's not the same vibe. It's definitely not the same feeling, but meaning a man typically, and he's definitely one of those hard personality men, right? I need to take care of my family. So if he needs to go back to work, right? Because maybe his job isn't the same where they're willing to pay for the time off, to do that. And that's just the reality of it. So for me, I'm personally not judging him. If the man has to go back to work, while the mother maybe is getting time off, like who knows? We don't know their financial situation and stuff like that. But I'm not going to blame anyone because the world waits for nobody. And when people have bills to pay and car payments to make and house payments to make and stuff like that, and considering he's a little bit removed partially by not being the actual biological father, would it shock me if they were heading back up to Memphis and Katie wanted to join him, because she's obviously probably going through hell and doesn't want to be alone and stuff like that. I don't know, but I'm not going to definitely judge if he's up there going to work. Now, the perception to the community that we're seeing is that they're not seeming to join in any of the searches. They talked about handing flyers out, but we're not seeing them physically join in the searches. And I'm still confused about the vigil, because in the chat, Seth said that they were there in, was it Pascal's chat, I believe, that he said that they were at the vigil, and yet people keep saying that they weren't. So I think that's like I said, if somebody asked Seth Rogers or Katie or if they were at the vigil, because it was said both ways. But Seth in the chat of Pascal said that they were at the vigil. So, but yet if it's getting strewn around that they weren't at the vigil, that's not right either, especially if they were, because then that's making them look even worse, right? Tell my electricians that very thing. It's just as easy for me to write a line through your name as it is to write that line under your name. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. I'm sorry for the issues. This world is so harsh. I hope she's safe and doing well. Yeah, it's right. Yeah, he's a crane operator, working on like the Vanderbilt Hospital or something like that. I'm not because I am judgmental when a child is your child, but I'm not talking about Christopher in this case, and you're not coming forth to the media. But apparently they were asked at first not to go to the media. They have both spoken about that. Hence why a lot of us were going like, why aren't you coming to the media? Right? Because it's like, if it's your child, why would you not? But the thing is, if you've never been in something like this in your life, and the police is saying, hey, look, try to stay away from the media for now, you're going to listen to them, right? Because they're trying to give you advice and you don't know any better. You've never been in this situation before. But were we judgmental? Of course. After it came a week, we were like, what the fuck? Like, why is the family not putting their face out there? It's your child. Talk about Christopher. Talk about Sebastian. And he wants to see your face if he can see anything. He doesn't want to see two people holding hands. They want to see the face. We want to see your face because it's your child. Has Christopher come off abrasive, and like he's taking control? He himself made himself look like he was a very strict, disciplinary person. Are there other fathers like that? Absolutely. It's his way. Doesn't mean he's being abusive. Doesn't mean he's being abusive towards, Sebastian. Well, I mean, the belt thing wasn't exactly a happy story. I don't think I'd be putting that shit out there. But if someone's being a truthologist, they're literally, if you're being a truthologist, which I believe he is, you're gonna, and he's sitting there and he's willing to say that he used the belt on Sebastian, knowing in today's times, don't really talk about that stuff, okay? But he put himself out there to take even more criticism, actually, for it, because he is, you can tell, a very structured personality. He likes things done in a certain way. If you're going to ask me a question, I'm going to give you the answer. And in fact, I'm probably going to give you more of the answers. A lying person is not going to sit there and admit to giving a child a belt or taking away the snakes and all this stuff, right? They're not going to put themselves in a worse light, but he did, really, right? So to me, that's someone that's being a truthologist more than a liar, to be honest with you, if that makes sense to y'all. You guys got me saying y'all. So if that makes sense to y'all, as if I have some sort of Southern accent. I keep hearing that lately on these interviews. I'm like, does Christopher Proudfoot just keep picking these people from freaking down south only. Everyone keeps saying, I'm sorry, y'all. Sorry, y'all. So I find that I'm picking up on that. Sorry, I'm going to scroll down. The pet snake for punishment. Again, did I have things taken away? In a sense, like you can't, if you're not going to take care of it, I'm going to take it away and stuff like that. Is it too harsh? Maybe to some, maybe not to others. Again, I understand that personality. There's a lot of other parents out there with that same type of drill sergeant thing. In this house, this is what happens. Da, 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 da. I mean, he's been married 5 times, guys. Okay. He's literally listed off the names of all the people that he's been married to. There could be something to be said about that for sure. So, like I've been married 3 times, 11 years, 17 years, and now 9 years. First one, very abusive. It was okay. I stayed in it for 11 years, married for 2 of those years. Should I have married my first one? No, but I did. I was trying to make other people happy instead of myself. Second one was my best friend. His name is, Steve as well. Then he got angry as the years went on about life. And it was like having a man on menopause, right? That's why they call it menopause, because of that shit. That's why, hence, men no pause, right? Anyways, he went through some sort of fucking, anger shit. And then he started taking it out on me as if I was the problem, typical misdirecting, gaslighting shit. But I'm too smart for that crap, So I thought, I'm not going to settle for anything less than I deserve. I deserve to be treated the way how much I love somebody and the way I care about people. I need someone that has these same, ways and not try to hit me or abuse me. Yeah. And so I met my husband, who's 21 years younger than I am. And yet we're perfectly in sync with each other. He is my best friend. He's never laid a hand on me. He's never called me a bad name. Well, very little. And when I say that, it's mostly because sometimes, like these words don't bug me. If someone says to me, stop being a bitch, I'll stop being an asshole and I'll stop being a bitch. Those type of things, which is rare, right? Me and my husband really, for the most part, disrespect each other. We respect our right to do things and we don't try to control each other. But you know what I mean? So, again, each to their own on how they perceive like their disciplinary actions towards a kid or not and stuff like that. So 5 marriages might say a lot about Christopher Proudfoot, that perhaps he's not exactly, that, Rico Suave guy that everyone likes. Obviously there's issues going on that's creating, are all the issues his? Well, after 5, you start thinking that maybe it's a you problem and not a them problem. Who knows? He doesn't seem like he's an easy guy to get along with. That's for sure. Comes off like he's controlling, So someone tried to control me. I like you wouldn't even make it, in my life in the first place, type of thing. But some women, like that stuff, and he obviously is. He tells you, like, it's my job to protect them, stand up for them. So I don't care what you guys think. I'm going to do that. But you're asking for people's help about looking for this child. And then you're speaking like that, in a sense. You're basically saying you don't give a shit what, people think, but obviously you do. Because you kept going on like, why do you want me to talk to JLR? Why does people want to talk to JLR? To bring awareness to your case because he has a good channel, decent channel out there. Yeah, he might be accusing you of this or that or whatever, or saying these facts or whatever. Maybe some of them facts, more of them just speculation, which, again, everyone has the right to do that with their channel if they want. But bottom line is, you're going to bring more awareness to the case of Sebastian by going on, of course, bigger channels or media like Nancy Grace. So when they said that they would like to go on Nancy Grace, I'm like, honestly, have you not tried to reach out to her? No, because they just keep going on the little small channels. No offense to the small channels like this. No offense. But Nancy Grace, I'm sure, would be like, yeah, get your ass on up here. What do you mean? You think Nancy Grace isn't going to have you on there? Of course she is. It's going to freaking boost her ratings. And not only that, but she's going to, get to the questions. It's all about ratings for sure, but Nancy Grace cares. She does care. There's people out there like Ashley Banfield, when they tear up and they cry, it's because they truly care and they're in their space. Yes, do they have a show to do? But is that the end all to be all about why they're doing something? No, but if they get the clicks and views, is it bringing awareness to Sebastian Rogers? Of course. So knock that shit off for Chris with well, if somebody's going to make monetary money off of something, then I want you to sit there and put all that money towards Sebastian Case. Who are you to say that? Are you going to tell Nancy Grace that every dime that she makes off of her show needs to go to Sebastian? Are you going to be so bold as to say that to Nancy Grace? Of course not. You're going to put your tail between your legs and you're going to do the interview. You're not going to put that condition on Nancy. So why put it on anybody, considering this is Katie's, your stepchild, and Seth's to bring awareness to a case, right? Sorry, Sonny. Preach it. I will. Thank you. Why is it illegal to hit adults but not children? Well, it's illegal for both. I mean, really. Well, I get what you're saying, though. And his stepson is missing. He gets 0 pass from this mama. He got all the answers, but that doesn't mean he's smart or has true answers. Well, I believe he thinks he's smart. I think a lot of people believe that they're smart. But again, is he smart enough to pull one over on LE, FBI, or TBI? No. And I don't think he is, to be honest with you. I think he's just abrasive and can be rude. And it's not about that. It's about Sebastian. How tall is KP? Katie? You know what? I don't know, but I'm pretty sure she's a decent height. I remember hearing it, I think, that she was like 5. I could be totally wrong, but for some reason in my head, I want to say 5'9", 5'10", or something like that. I'm pretty sure she was decently tall because I remember going, oh, she's that tall? I think can go backwards to the timeline, like the last 40 hours individually. Apparently that is way to get more details. When was the niece dropped off? There are holes. You know what? Whoever's watching this right now, I said, watch the Smiley's World. Watch Chronicles of Olivia if you haven't seen those interviews. In each and every interview, well, it's not true, because in a couple of the beginning interviews, like especially the one where they're holding hands, that's just a waste of time listening to that one. There was nothing of any value. In fact, they skipped over Sunday like it was tra-la-la-la-la, and they didn't talk about it. So I would say skip that one. I would say go only to the Duchess, Chronicles of Olivia, and the Smiley World. That's where you're going to get all the information that you know. Don't waste your time watching the WSMV one. That's not going to add any added value to it. Go to the ones where they're talking the most, right? The hand one, waste of time. They literally are talking about nothing in that one. So yeah, besides maybe bringing awareness, out of it all. But that interview didn't go too well with them holding their hands and not putting themselves to the public. Anyways, it just lacked any information. It's really not of no value. So those are the 3 that I would recommend going to watch if you really want to try to build yourself a timeline of that. And perhaps go watch again Sweetie Pie Low on her not the one that she just did today, but the one the night before, where she's talking about the stuff at the beginning of this video when we show it. And she's talking about how at 9:08, that neighbor with the camera, the light goes out. At 11:45, Sebastian's light goes out. 11:45, the living room and Katie's bedroom go out. So that had to be from the front. So Katie must be in the loft. Her and Chris must be in the loft, because you're not going to see it. If Sebastian's is in the first right-hand corner of that house, and then there's another, say, room behind that, to me, when I looked at that loft, I was like, oh, that must be their room, right? To me, if you see a living room light go out, and you see a bedroom light go out, you're only seeing that to me because that home is seeing the front, and the side of the garage. So that loft, I believe, is Katie's and Christopher's room. The kitchen area, is obviously underneath that. And then there's the kind of the dining room that you would see as well from the front door. And then Sebastian's room would be right in front of the flower garden there, to the right side of the home at the front. That would be his. What was the name that JLR was? What was the name that JLR was at? He was at Rockland Recreation. Yeah, Diana Ross. Diana Ross is in the house apparently. But anyways, yeah, that was Rockland Recreation. Mr. Electric, my read on this is that they need to be looking at this family real hard. I'm so not buying this whole wandering off BS. The child didn't vanish. But the thing is, Mr. Electric, that they are looking at the family really hard. That's just a given. Like, that is like 101, that instantly the family is the first people looked at, right? So to think that they're not, obviously to me is like, I don't want to say being naive, because it's just a given that the family is being looked at the hardest, because again, there are no answers. So they look at the family the hardest, and then they go outwards. Like I said, they found nothing. So now they're going back to an investigation, and they're looking through every ounce of information that they can with regards to where Christopher was, where Katie was. Does it match everything that was happening? According to the lady across the street, the times that Katie has said is accurate. People don't want to believe it, perhaps, but yet it's probably true that it is actually accurate. Now Katie didn't say a lot of things, and that's where the problem lied right there, is that Christopher was doing the talking, but Katie was the one that was at home. It wasn't Christopher, unless you guys want to twist it and think that. It was Katie was the one at home. So Katie should be opening up her mouth talking, because she was there with Sebastian. So she should have been saying, look, Sunday went like this, or she should have said, look, I was asked, by the police, not to talk about the timeline because we don't want to jeopardize the case, right? It's not hard to say that. Or she should have said, if they were willing to say. So Sunday started off, got up, moved on, went, picked up his niece or whatever, went to go to the bowling alley, went out for dinner, went to BJ's, that stuff should have just been simply said. And it should have been said that she looked around the house for him, and then she got in her vehicle and drove for 10 minutes. So if that's seen on camera, according to Sweetie Pie Low, from the person that she's talking to, which is the person supposedly that owns that camera footage across the way, why didn't she say that? How would you not say that? Like, why are you overlooking things? And then you wonder when people give you a stink eye. She has not been forthcoming at all with information. In fact, it's been Christopher that's been forthcoming with the information. She's just kind of lightly, her voice is lightly in the background, but at no point did she say that she left the house for 10 minutes to see if he went to school because she's panicked. Why wouldn't you add that into your timeline? But then again, all she said was laughing, and she never even said about BJ's. It was Christopher that told us about BJ's, not Katie, And so all we heard was basically, I went to go wake him up. He's not there. Oh my God, went outside to look for him, and then next thing you know, it's got home. He went to bed. He played around with the pups for a while. I told him to go to bed at 9 o'clock. And then at 12 o'clock, I went to bed. That's exactly the shit that Katie was saying. At no point did she say, You know, I got up, he wasn't there. I went outside, looked for him. I got in my car, drove quickly to the school to see if he was there. You know, we went and did this, you know, everything was just like this, compacted. And everyone's sitting there going, wait, what? Like, why aren't you just saying where you were? Right? Why aren't you just telling the truth? Why are you holding back information when you're asking people to look for your child? It doesn't make sense, right? So when it doesn't make sense, it's easy to go on the attack because they've literally told you shit all about the day. Maybe it's because they're not used to being interviewed or whatever. Either way, you know, if somebody's child's missing, you know, yeah, the last time I seen him was when we were at BJ's or something. She literally just hovered over everything. The only time that they actually even spoke about it was on, like, the most about that day was on Chronicles of Olivia. I'm like, you guys have got to be kidding me. You've done how many interviews so far? And then all of a sudden you open up on Chronicles of Olivia, you know, which is good on her channel. Thank you so much for finally giving us a tad bit more of information. You know, you're welcome that we're covering your son's case. Meanwhile, you're sitting there, you couldn't even be asked to tell about any timeline. It just didn't make sense to us, you know. And then when you had Christopher Proudfoot projecting this, you know, harsh thing with you know, Facebook groups and people attacking him. Well, duh. I wonder why. You know, so when you're a family member like Michelle, you know, you're not gonna see it from the outside perspective like we are, because, you know, you're gonna be there, like you said, try to protect your brother, you know, like, this isn't true, that's not true, they did this, they didn't. No, they did not. I've seen every interview that they had. What they did behind the scenes, you might know more about, Michelle, for sure. Okay? Again, we can only speculate about certain things like that. But what was shown publicly was you were just asking, in a sense, to have stinky eyes looking that way. Because when it takes you 4 interviews to get to a little bit more truth, right? Now, again, is that because they just suck at interviewing? Obviously, they do. But you shouldn't have to pull teeth when Katie was literally hiding behind the camera and then saying, we just need people to be out looking for, wait, what? You need who to be out looking for who? We need to do what for you again? You know? Oh, I'm sorry. What information did you give us besides nothing? Besides a little glimpse as you glazed over everything? But you need us to do that? Well, to the public, it's looking like you're sitting on your ass at home, not even doing any searches. Because that was the portrayal that happened. Right? Anyways, I'm going to get going here in a second. It's 4:37. You know, do you know where your kids are? Yeah, mine's in White Court. Okay, this area is connected to an Indian reservation. I happened to pull up some of the doping and tarot card reading for Sebastian. He is in an Indian reservation. Dog hits. Check it again. You're talking about the Rockland. Well, we'll see what becomes of that. We haven't heard anything back about that. I don't do well in the sunlight. I have fair skin and burn easily. It's a crime and shame. They could start by everyone involved doing a poly. Well, Christopher and Katie have done a poly test. Remember, Christopher comes along going, da-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Woo, we passed the poly test, you know? And then he said we were cleared. Okay? You notice he held back in Smiley World from saying he was cleared. He was about to say it, but he held back. You know, because obviously, you know what I mean? If they got nothing to hide, you know, again, poly test. Now, Seth hasn't had a poly test. He's offered to, but because he has an alibi, they're probably like, you know, why would they want to waste their time on a polygraph test if he has an alibi being at work, right? And they can show exactly. So again, Seth knew that Katie had taken a polygraph test, but he didn't know about Christopher. But Christopher said that they did. Again, why would you go on live to the public and say that you had a polygraph test if you didn't, considering that the LE watches Facebook and the news media, and they would know he was bullshitting if so. Now, again, people can think what they want with regards to whatever they want about Christopher Proudfoot or Katie. But I think the consensus is this pretty much the same across the board. There's a ton of empathy for Seth Rogers. And because of the portrayal that Katie and especially Christopher have portrayed publicly to our eyes and ears, there's not this big huggy duggy moment, where everyone's going, oh, yeah, give me a good hug. Everything's good, right? Like I said, you're asking for people's time and you're asking for help and you're asking for people to hand out flyers, and there's people doing it at the expense of their own pocketbooks. So again, doesn't matter if you're shit channel or not. All you want is Sebastian's information out there, by anyone and everyone. Because the more people see something, the more aware they become. So the egos need to get over, put to the backside there, and just deal with the fact that Sebastian Rogers needs to be found. And hopefully at some point there can be a conclusion, and hopefully it's a good conclusion to this case. It's really heartbreaking looking at this child's face, looking at any child's face, but in this case, Sebastian Rogers. It's so heartbreaking looking at this kid and then realizing that there's nothing to go on. There's nothing that we know of that to possibly move it in a different direction, because it just becomes about the process. I want to know more about the bowling alley. Well, again, I'm going to have to go back myself and listen to Chronicles of Olivia. I want to know more about that bowling alley while he was playing games. I'm right. And was the niece there at that point? Well, was he talking to people and playing? I guess you're going to have to call up the bowling alley, see if they give you any information, to be honest. Anyways, let's see here. Okay, I got to go to the bathroom for a second. I'll be right back, but I really got to go. So talk amongst yourselves for a moment. A half pint. Don't you dare make me pull out that belt and come spank your butt, because I will. Pull out the ruler. Anyways, is there anything else like that you guys wanted me to show you guys? With regards, did you guys need to look at Google Maps at all? Did you guys need to talk about anything and stuff like that? It's been a 3.5 hour live on there. As we know, again, to Michelle Proudfoot that was in the chat earlier and stuff like that. Again, if you actually want to talk, send me a message on Twitter. I have an email at crimeyshame@gmail.com, or you can reach out to me on my Facebook Messenger in regards to it all. I'm just, like I said, trying to put out the facts and the truth, and some of it's just perception. And I'm allowed to have that thing without it being called defamation. Again, defamation, like I said, is a whole different ball of wax than what she was claiming on that. But anyways, I get the frustrations of family, but it's one of those things that when you're dealing with millions of people, again, and to somebody that's not being looked at in a good spotlight, I would just stay down a little bit from it, because the minute you start, it's one of those things, right? Robin Rogers is going to be looked at differently because everyone's, on the side of Seth, a lot of people. And as for Christopher Proudfoot and Katie, again, it's everything that's led up to this point is why a lot of this is happening. But also, by the same token, the stepdad is the first person that people always will accuse when it comes to true crime. That's the truth. Yeah. Lisa Brownin, I heard that, but I don't. What did Lisa say? Katie is also MMA trained. Yeah, I heard that as well. That she's MMA trained. She could probably take her husband if she had to. Yeah, I don't think she's as meek and weak and as what's coming across. Coming across like she's just very soft spoken. I don't think so. I don't think she is. I think she's definitely a stronger personality than what's going to happen. But again, I can also understand that, she's probably sitting in this world of numbness, trying to understand where Sebastian is, because again, it's like not a reality in a sense, but yet she's living this like this nightmare. That's right, Callie. I'm the champ. I'm a champ. Now, again, you know, um, I don't live in their life. I don't know what's going on besides only the fact of what Christopher has put out there to the public. Again, I don't. I'm having a marathon. I love spaghetti, and she's still on. Hi, CJK. Thank you, Indie Girl. Thank you for being here. MT Ree says, this is a lot of work, Sunny. I hope you get to relax a little after this. Yeah, I do have to. I'm going to be starting my new job this Wednesday. So, and I guess it's Easter weekend coming up as well. On the April Fool's Day weekend there. So we got Easter coming up. But yeah, so I need to get things done, prepared for the new job. I need to like add people's phone numbers and apps and a few different things to prepare for it. And yeah. Okay, I guess I got some emails I got to look at as well. In there. Okay, I see one in there. But anyways, I appreciate you guys. I feel Katie, you feel she does? Yeah. I don't feel that same way. But again, the whole purpose, regardless about talking about it, is for the fact of perception and what people feel. You have every right to feel whatever which way you want. But the one thing that I like to do the most is for people that we try to have our ducks in a row when it comes to information. And if it's incorrect, then of course make you aware that, hey, this was said, that was wrong, da 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 da. But the whole point is that like the police and whatever, you're just trying to understand a timeline of events, right? So if Chris and Katie would have talked about that day and the events that happened instead of glazing over it, and and again, it doesn't, like, why would you go to a YouTuber first? No offense to the YouTuber, but why would you go to a YouTuber first? Why wouldn't you stand in front of a camera? Maybe like whatever their reason is, it's the oddity of why you would go to a small YouTube channel first versus going to a large media outlet. If you want to bring awareness to Sebastian, you're not going to go to somebody with 5.5K subscribers. You're going to go to the, media. So that it's odd how they've handled things. And of course, they've been judged on that, because if they would have just came out and kind of like, said like, this is what happened this day, it people would have projected it a bit differently. But because it was like pulling teeth, and the interviews were odd. And then when they start using we, like we would have heard him. Well, why are you saying that? If you're in Memphis, what's the word we? You don't make shit up as you go along. Like, well, we always use the word we. It went da 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 type of thing. No, no one uses the word we typically when they're like, we heard him. We would have heard him. Like that is like one of the most wrongest places to use the word we. Kind of like what Jennifer Soto was doing. Anyways, it would be different. You had spaghetti. I like spaghetti. Spaghetti. I make my own meatballs. Like you guys do that. I mean, I make my own meatballs. I prefer homemade stuff, homemade tacos, homemade stuff with beef. I like the way I make it more than a store. It would be different if the media told them it was not newsworthy, then go the other direction. Where they come from, there's a lot of stigma towards the mainstream media. This isn't the time for conspiracy theories. But here we are with Chris trying to control everything. Well said. Well said, Aunt Auntie. Yum, one of my favorites, Miranda. Okay. Well, you know what? I think that I'm going to end this live stream now. I am kind of getting tired. I got some things on. I got to check out and stuff like that. I do need to go down to Walmart, even though I try to avoid that like the plague. But it's just really, especially on a Sunday. Well, Sunday at night, right? In the evening is quieter. But anyways, you guys just bring awareness to the case. Again, hit a like, hit a share, post it to your social media, wherever you are. And be kind to yourself and everyone else on there. And other than that, you guys, it was a pleasure. You guys have a great day. Have a great Sunday. Sucks to be you guys who have to work tomorrow, but yeah. Anyways, prayers to Sebastian Rogers, and again, prayers to all the friends and family that are hurting at this time is trying to figure out answers. I cannot believe in 2 days it will be a month. I'm not sure, Miranda. I'm sure that I would like to think that they do. I don't want to think that it's carts and horses. I would like to think. You love your job? Can I have your job if you love it so much? How about you do your job, but you just give me your paycheck? Does that sound fair? That kind of sounds fair. Walmart is the world's biggest retailer. Absolutely. That's what happens when you have little sweatshops and pay shit, and stuff like that. But are people going to stop shopping there? Hell no. Nobody wants to pay more money than they have to. Absolutely not. So it's one of those catch-22s, right? I'm not a big Walmart fan, but I understand my needs, and sometimes when I need to go there, usually I avoid it like the plague, like Costco and stuff. Usually I just do my ordering for them. Like besides grocery shopping, usually we go up to Save On Foods up here lately, because it's just right up the road, instead of IGA, which is like a ripoff. They each have their things, their little niches that they're good at and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm not a big shopper by any means. If I can order something, typically I will. And the only reason why I don't order groceries to this place is because it's a gated community, right? And then they have to have the fob and come up and blah, 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 blah. Just easier sometimes. You can join me. I help the differently, you help the differently abled. That's a word I haven't really heard, or a sentence like that before. I help the differently abled. I like Costco's chicken salad. Oh my God, Miranda. My husband, I just want to say that. So when we were in Costco, I love chicken salad, and usually I'll make it myself because I prefer usually the stuff in stores isn't that bad. So anyways, they have like the chicken salad, and it looks like 4 tits is what it looked like. And so anyways, my husband's like, what's that? And I was like, chicken salad. And he's like, I'm not eating it. Look at that. Right. And I love chicken salad too. Anyways, so for lunch, I made him a chicken salad sandwich with it. This is a couple of weeks ago. And he's like, well, that chicken salad's really good. And I was like, see, it's just that it looked like 4 tits sitting inside, because, when they use the ice cream scoop type of thing. So it was like 4 mounds. And it's kind of like they're making fun of it. But the chicken salad was quite good. My husband commented how good it was. And I'm like, see, you're judging. You have a nice. Thank you so much, Indie Girl. You guys take care. We don't. I don't think we have a Kroger's here. If we do, I don't know about it. Yeah. We all have skilled. We all have the skilled, even the disabled. I call it us differently abled because nobody deserves to be dis anything. Okay, gotcha. Okay. They need to start searching the campgrounds, places he used to live. Like, this is a big mind fuck. You know, this whole Sebastian case. It really is. It's very intriguing from a true crime sense of, like, here's this piece of a puzzle, this piece, but it's none of it's making sense, right? How does a child that, hold on a second, I need a drink. That's going to be a hard pass there. So why would he go against every grain of everything he does normally? Doesn't make sense, right? But something has to make sense. Something has to make sense. On there, I have. Anyways, yeah. Is it the one? No, it's not. It would be cranberries that's typically in it. Yeah. Yeah, we're good, Elijah. We're good. All I know is this, Elijah. If you say one more weird comment, I'm going to stinky eye you and probably block you. That's a weird thing to come in and say. That means that you're here to cause trouble, typically. Oh, Charmaine. Shit, go away. Nothing to see here, Charmaine. Elijah. Yeah, some people are so rude, aren't they? Hey, Charmaine. Where are you? You still sitting there looking at a Slave Lake? Here. It's mystifying to say the least. Ridiculously heartbreaking and senseless. We're missing something, and I hope. Well, that's just it. There's something missing, right? That's you're going against every grain of how a child would act to say that this particular night, this child went against everything that he's known for security, for stability, for everything, right? But yet there's an answer there. I'm trans. Oh, yeah. Well, you have a great day, Elijah. Don't let the door slap you too hard on the way out. Ban user. Have a good one. Trolls and well, those are always expected, but sometimes you entertain them and other times you just boot them right away. Don't got time for that shit. Ain't nobody got time for that shit, right? Oh my, what happened here? Well, now that you've come in here, now that live just went straight downhill. All I could say, no, nothing. Oh, Charmaine, Michelle Proudfoot popped her face in here, on the chat earlier. She came in here to beak off to me and that, but whatever. Someone want to take, yeah, I took them. But did his mom and dad want him to move? Yeah, like meaning the way that Seth made it sound, like I said, tomorrow I'm looking forward to Nancy Grace, all right, with them on there. So again, all I can say is it can only add some more facts to the timeline, hopefully, of things that we need to understand better. So hopefully there's some questions that Nancy, you know what, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to put out some questions to her and I'm going to tag her in it. That's what I'm going to do. And see if she sees those, right? Because, she has responded to the tweets before, give them a like and stuff. So anyways, I'm going to put out a few questions to her. Be like, Nancy, make sure you ask these questions if you could, because I still haven't heard. So I think I will do that with Nancy. No, she don't play. Like I said, I want a better understanding of the truth of that day without it being like pulling teeth. Here's some answers here, here's some here. Just go through the freaking day, moment by moment, in a sense, and just clear it up. Just clear it up. Not here's an interview here, here's an interview there, here there's an interview everywhere, an interview type of thing, and then you got to pounce around. Just talk about the day, right? Everything about the day before that day, into the Monday. Just talk about it straight up. I'm surprised that I didn't have, like, when Christopher Proudfoot says, like, oh yeah, the LE's telling us that we're doing a good job. I'm pretty sure that LE is not going to sit there and go, yeah, keep up the good work, keep making yourself look like a a-hole on freaking freaking national news and shit like that. Sometimes when somebody's that kind of high on their horse of whatever, his ego and stuff like that, because his bruised ego's hurt. So, sometimes, like I said, they just need a reality check about the perception. And I don't think that he seems to care about the perception that he's putting out there and why it's happening. I feel like he feels like he's under the attack for no reason and type of thing. That he's just a person standing up for his wife, standing up for that. Thank you. Well, I mean, like I said, the people's vote, in a sense, their choice is in Seth Rogers' favor when it comes to the compassion and caring side of it. It's not in the Proudfoot favor. But at the end of the day, it still becomes about Sebastian, and just trying to understand a timeline about it all. Yes. What Seth Rogers said, no. What Katie said was that Seth Rogers had life insurance. So she didn't say that they did. So if she didn't answer that, they probably didn't. Hey, Brenda. But Seth Rogers has life insurance on Sebastian. So whatever reason, I mean, each to their own. Absolutely, you can tell. I mean, look at him. The guy is devastated beyond belief. Like, his eyes tell the story. They got bags under them. He looks tired. He's beat. He's worn down. He has a sore shoulder that they kind of slinged him up in there today and stuff like that. Absolutely. Then somebody takes a picture of Katie and Chris sitting there freaking munching some barbecue or whatever. They, like I said, everywhere Katie and Chris go, they're being looked at. Doesn't matter who. Everyone that knows about this case is going to be sitting there trying to squeeze a picture in if they can and stuff. Absolutely. No one can claim life insurance unless he's declared. Absolutely, right? Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know where they went off to today in the camper and the thing. I'm kind of thinking that Sunday he's probably heading back up to work and she's probably going to join him because she probably, like perhaps that's it. I mean, we're at a month now. There's a moment where you sit at home because you think you can't leave because in case your child comes back home. But, after a month, maybe she's, like maybe she just wants to spend time and she doesn't want to spend, I don't know. I'm just guessing. I don't know the actual answer. Yeah. On that. Okay. Anyways, you guys, it is 3:45 almost. I'm going to head off. Thank you guys so much for joining the live and stuff like that today. And that jerk off that sent super chats, I hope you reverse them. And the one that said something about Red Bar, it's just so stupid when people come in here and try to do stuff like that. Anyways, hopefully he took his stupid super chat. Let's just remember his name though. This person, Daniel Patrick. In the spot about today's Red Bar report. Where do people come up with this shit? She has a guilty conscience. That was meaning me, by the way. Yes, I have some guilty conscience. Like I said, if anyone's been covering this case with a lot of respect, it's been myself. Right? So that just makes me laugh, to be honest with you. What can I say about that? Idiots are idiots. One stays, the other searchers. Yeah. And thank you guys. He's all over the place. Well, what is he? You know, like, hey, and then he'll go refund his money probably on the super chats. Let me just see if it's there or not, actually. Just for the sake of it. Because all you have to do is go back to your credit card company or, and hit something basically. Anyways, let's just go. Let me just go take a boo. Let's see. Analytics. Yeah. Actually, no. Is it analytics? I think so. Memberships, supers. Am I having a stupid moment? I feel like, hold on. Oh yeah, I was underneath the wrong one. I was having a stupid moment. Yeah, so exactly. So those little super chats, right? All it is somebody doing a super chat and then canceling it right away because they're not there. So that's all he's doing, is trying to make it seem like he's donating, and then he's just doing that just so he can get it up there. Because there's idiots like that do that stuff, you know. You're welcome, Lisa. Thank you guys as well so much. My adult son went missing for a month. I never slept. Oh my God. Some days too, I imagine the worst. They are a heartbeat. Outside Robert. Was there an argument there, Auntie Ree? One second. Was there an argument there that he went? I'll just wait for you to answer back on that one. And then I really should get going. No argument, just saying how I would be at my 15. Yeah, no, but you said my adult son went missing for a month. I never slept, cried every night. Yeah, so there was no argument that made him disappear for a month. You know? Yeah, time for The Walking Dead. I used to watch that. Mine went missing. It was hell. Yeah. An adult missing is not newsworthy. Pretty much, right? They can be pretty harsh like that. Okay. Anyways, I'm going to bring this to an end. No, he just went off and was being held by some nefarious bad actors. Oh, okay. Well, I'm certainly glad that, he made it back home and stuff like that, obviously. A mother's worst nightmare, to be honest with you. Parents' worst nightmare, I should say, in all fairness. Sometimes we say mother because, we're the ones that, give birth to the child. But to both sides, to the parents, just a parent's worst nightmare, that their child goes missing and stuff like that. He was barely an adult, but okay. Anyways, you guys take care. Thank you so much. Again, see you on the next live, whenever that is. Not quite sure. Monday night for sure. Should be one. But anyways, we'll see. I just got stuff to do, so my head's kind of going, oh, I gotta do this and that and this and that. So it's kind of in a tired spot right now. The moment, when you think about things too much, then your brain gets tired and it's like, oh, I think I need a nap actually. Anyways, take care, you guys. Thanks again so much.